Hey, everybody, welcome to I Love This Flick, the podcast in which we love flicks. And we are in 2023. My name is Josh Pfizer.
My name is Tanner Randall. After 14 rounds of voting no, we've decided that I will be Speaker of the House. Coming in strong for the coolest thing to happen in 2023 so far. Everybody hates Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, I've only vaguely been, know about that stuff, and it just sounds like official politics is a goddamn mess.
It is a little bit
weirdly
worth paying attention
more so than
to.
usual.
Because he has conceded some pretty significant things that alter the way government functions in order to win this election. It's gonna be a real rough 2 years for people who believe in human rights. So hey everybody, welcome to America. Season finale. We're wrapping this up.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about politics.
I'm always here to talk about.
I think there are smarter people that can talk about politics, but besides you and me. So
I disagree, but I have an ego.
But in any case, we are doing our year-end review today. And last year we went through, our top favorite movies of the year. To be honest, even though this has been the year more so than most that I've seen movies in theaters, I don't think I've seen, a lot of some of the I haven't seen, and I'm sure this is going to be on your list, Tar or Women Talking. Trying to think of any other big ones that have come out that I haven't seen yet, but Tar is probably the big one that I have not seen.
Did you do Banshees yet?
This moment. I did. That's going to be one I want
to
talk about.
Yeah.
Oh no, the other big one I haven't seen yet, and I don't even know why, because it's on Mubi, is Decision to Leave, the new Park Chan-wook.
Sure, also have that one's really high on my to watch list, but
Park Chan-wook is just one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. Of course, of course, I think most people were introduced to him in America, I should say. We're introduced to him through Old Boy, and my first one that I saw was Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, and then he going back, joint security area, which is just wonderful, and then going forward, you get stuff like Thirst. What's Handmaiden, and Stoker, that's interesting because it's written by Captain Cold and
Wentworth Miller.
Yeah.
I love Wentworth Miller.
No.
I did not know he wrote that.
Yeah. And I think that's his only American movie, but I do believe he's worked did what do
you mean, Old Boy, the Josh Brolin movie?
Oh God. So even though we're going back to fucking 2013 with this one, my opinion on it, I've heard, first off, if you notice how it's credited, it's not it's a Spike Lee film, which you'll notice is not apparently there is a 3-hour cut of that movie. Now, whether or not that'll make the movie good is unseen, and I have a lot of opinions about what is wrong with that and what I find to be okay. That's fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a remake of a movie that doesn't need remaking, and that's already such a hurdle to get around. Of just you just kind of the other movie is timeless and perfect. I wouldn't say timeless, but it's there's nothing about it that needed updating for a modern audience. It holds up just fine on its own.
I think the thing is it adheres way too much to the original movie. It's way too similar, and even Park Chan-wook, I think he met with I don't think he met with Spike Lee at the time, but I know he did talk to Josh Brolin, and he was just make it your own. And that's not what they did. That might have been the reason Spike Lee, doesn't really want as much credit for that one is because like I'm sure the studio is just like, no, it's got to be like the original. And I remember God, like 2014, something like that, there were rumors that Steven Spielberg and Will Smith were going to be doing it, but they were going to be adapting the manga that it's based off of more than, you know, the actual movie, which probably would have been better long run. But anyway, we're not going to talk about movies from the last 2 decades. We're going to be talking about movies and, you know, other things, TV shows. I'm sure you have video games that you want to talk about.
Oh, there might be a crossover thing that comes up. Maybe something that's a movie and a video game that we'll be talking about in full spoilers in a little bit.
Okay. But first, do you want to just talk about, do we want to jump into movies? Because this has been a
hecking good year.
I would say this has been, it has, but I think specifically it's been a good year for entertaining movies. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, the last decade and a half, you know, the biggest blockbusters have been superhero stuff and stuff like in that adjacent, you know, kind of action style. This year we get, you know, we get stuff like Top Gun, Maverick. You know, we get
legacy
stuff, we get
sequels.
the legacy sequel, but we also get another entertaining sequel, Glass Onion, which was I rewatched it recently, and it's just like, yes, this is going to be a rewatch. I still think that Knives Out is the better movie, but I think Glass Onion is the one I'm going to be watching more of.
I think Glass Onion's a more fun movie than Knives Out is, which is a fun movie. I fully believe that Knives Out is an absolute blast of a movie too. I just think Glass Onion is a funnier, more lighthearted romp. They're both lighthearted movies. It's a weird way to talk about it, but I do agree that Glass Onion is definitely more of a just put on and chill movie than Knives Out. But we've also got the TV show Poker Face coming out at the end of January, which is going to be so fucking good.
The new trailer just dropped for that, and it looks
what if Rian Johnson wrote 10-hour-long mysteries instead of 2-hour-long mysteries? So excited.
It looks like it's a combination of, you know, a procedural mystery thing and a, you know, long-running story. You know, again, to talk about future stuff with Rian Johnson, he's come out with you know, saying like, oh yeah, we're still talking about the new Star Wars trilogy. And me personally, I either want him to keep doing these movies, the Benoit Blanc movies, and other original stuff more than I want to see him do another Star Wars. I don't want to see him tied up to 3 Star Wars movies in this next decade. Is
I want to agree with you, but it's difficult with how much I love The Last Jedi is my Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
If we're discrediting the TV shows, which again we'll talk about probably a little bit more of later. But if we're just discrediting the TV stuff, The Last Jedi is my favorite movie. I'm pretty unabashedly proud of like, no, that is the only Star Wars movie that truly like spoke to me on a core level. So just out of love of that, I would love to see his trilogy, and I like his look. If you liked both Knives Out movies, the reason you maybe like them is because you like Rian Johnson's view of the world. He hates the same kind of people I tend to hate. He definitely has some opinion on class and wealth that are opinions I maybe agree with. And I think a lot of that stuff is present in The Last Jedi. So I would be curious to see what his Star Wars full story would be if he was allowed to actually tell a story, probably without Jedi. Call it a hunch, but I have a feeling this guy would probably tell a more grounded human-based story. I guess my curiosity has the better of me also, just because I think he's good. So like if he made 3 Star Wars movies, they'd probably be 3 pretty damn good Star Wars movies. And I'd be happy with that.
He's a great director, and I've been on the Rian Johnson train. Writer director. But I've been on the Rian Johnson train since Brick. And that still is probably, like I said, like I think Knives Out is his best movie. I think Brick is always going to have a special place in my heart because I love film noir, and just like where I was at the time, I was just out of high school, and something like that could be incredibly corny and cheesy, but it's dark, and the language just flows so well. And I had also at the time gotten into Dashiell Hammett novels, and Brick is pretty much a love letter to that style of pulp novel. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't doubt that he would make more great Star Wars movies. I just think, for me personally, I of course want to get at least one more Benoit Blanc movie and something original from him.
And I do feel confident that we will be getting Benoit Blanc movies until Daniel Craig dies. I both of them have repeatedly said, like, we'll just keep doing this. It's fine. And it doesn't have to be every other year. We could go 8 years without one at some point. But then he's just like, yeah, I thought of a new fun mystery, and Craig was cool about coming back. So you know what? Daniel Craig's 80 now, and he's still doing this character. I feel like we just might live in a world where we might be getting these for just some time. Whenever he just feels the impulse to write a mystery story, he's like, nah, I got a guy. I'll call him. We'll do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought, it's a great year for entertainment. I mean, like we've gushed about Everything Everywhere All at Once. I saw Babylon not too long ago. That was an incredibly fun movie that does get dark. I mean, it's kind of dark at the beginning, but it's also like just a treat. Also I would say Nope kind of, as I've told you, is I feel him doing an action horror movie more than anything. And of course, one that
you could also argue Nope is not really horror. I mean, there's some tension and stuff, but it's often compared to Jaws, and I think that's the most fair kind of comparison. Only because, I mean, yeah, Jaws does have a killer in it, but it's a monster movie technically, but it's really just a fun movie. Like, it's just a fun, good time that people get killed in it. And I feel like Nope's the same way. We're like, no, most of that movie is actually just fun. And I like the people in it, and it's fun watching all this stuff happen. And even when Stephen Yeun is giving the most depressing monologue you've ever heard, it's very funny. It's just, it's a blockbuster. It's a summer blockbuster popcorn movie. And this year was full of them. And there were so many truly terrible ones. And there were so many.
Elvis isn't a terrible one.
Well, no, Elvis. Here's the cool thing about Elvis is you can debate it's either terrible or good. There is no middle ground on that one. I think if someone were to say Elvis is trash, I would be like, yeah, I mean, I see what you're trying to say, and you're right. It is garbage, just like Elvis's music. It's absolute garbage, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think Elvis is. Here's the thing: if there was just certain tweaks to the movie, it probably would be a Oscar contender. But
there's apparently some concert edit of this that's just Austin Butler doing like the Elvis stuff. And I think when that comes out, that will be my preferred version of the movie, because the less Tom Hanks is involved in it, the better I think that movie would be.
I love Tom Hanks's performance in it. It is so ridiculous.
I saw a thing on a long thread on Twitter comparing Tom Hanks's Colonel role to Watto in Star Wars, and it's just like, oh no, they are the same performance. It is just 3 hours of Tom Hanks doing a Watto impression at Elvis Presley,
complete with the nose.
Yeah, it made me chuckle because I love Watto, but
I absolutely do love it. He's white. I'm just a poor boy from Virginia.
Talking
you're from
about
Virginia, dude. Sure.
Entertaining movies. We've forgotten some of the even bigger blockbuster movies that were completely forgettable.
One more that I think that was great, that was so entertaining, that took the world by surprise.
See, I was saving that one because there's so many bad ones. I just wanted to ramble off before we talked about something good.
Well, I was going to say RRR.
Correct.
Is surprisingly the dark horse of the year.
In a year where a Jurassic Park movie came out and a Black Panther movie came out and a Doctor Strange movie came out, and a Batman movie came out. Coolest action movie of the year was RRR by a million. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, I got to take care of something real quick. Do you want to just keep rambling?
Depending on how real quick is, I will ramble until I pause the recording. So there were Fantastic Beasts was this year, which nobody cares about and we'll never talk about again. So that's cool. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was very good. People kind of look, I'm going to say this. If anyone's been putting off watching the 2 Sonic the Hedgehog movies, they're currently the best movie adaptations of a video game that exists. They're both incredibly enjoyable family action movies. If you like or even just miss Jim Carrey doing big Jim Carrey characters, he is giant as Dr. Eggman. I am a James Marsden diehard, so I got 2 James Marsden being adorable roles this year because of Disenchanted, the sequel to Enchanted this year. And obviously, he's so funny in the Sonic movies. I think he's so good.
What did you think of the new Enchanted movie? I haven't really seen anybody's take on it because these Disney Plus movies are really going under the radar. It feels like,
and some of them are for better or for worse. I think this one going under the radar is fine. I will preface my Disenchanted thoughts with I did not like Enchanted, which I saw for the first time this year before Disenchanted. I watched the first one so I could watch the second one. And growing up where I've had to spend we live in a post Deadpool world, right? So meta commentary stuff is at this point annoying. It's not even fun anymore. It's just pisses me off. It just becomes lazy where instead of writing or telling good stories, we're commenting on the stories. But
damn you, Abed from Community.
We're actually currently rewatching Community, and it's just one of those, you took the wrong lessons from Abed, where his lesson is he's using this to try to connect with people, not insult them. And now it's just insulting. So I did not like Enchanted because it's a meta thing and it's not very nice. Disenchanted, I had a lot more fun with because it's now it's playing into the tropes of this stuff without commenting on them and more of just let's embrace the tropes and kind of celebrate them. And also just Amy Adams morphing into an evil stepmother over the course of the movie because she's such a good actor. It's just fun to watch Amy Adams play a mustache twirling villain on that scale. And she's fighting Maya Rudolph, right? All of that
and it never
stuff
hurts to have Maya Rudolph in your movie.
And it's got so little McDreamy in it. He is such a bland, unattractive, there's nothing to that guy.
I think you mean uncharismatic because the reason he's
I mean unattractive
because
too.
He's attractive.
I disagree with that because James Marsden's in the movie. So what do you mean? How am I supposed to find this guy attractive when he's in a scene with James Marsden? He looks like a bag of shit next to James Marsden. But
he still is that was his streak of losing his girlfriend in a movie to another guy. It's the X-Men movies. It's this. It's there has to be another.
I bet you there's another 40 of them.
Why was that James Marsden's role? He's a very charismatic, good-looking.
Technically, Westworld is about him losing his girlfriend. The season 1 of Westworld, he loses his girlfriend every day. It's a living hell he goes through. It's a really fucking good completely underrated performance from season 1, and I think he shows up again in season 3 of Westworld. But he's also phenomenal in the Sonic movies. We had Bullet Train, again, which I just watched and I thought was a lot of fun. I mean, it's not perfect, but I enjoyed it. It was a good action movie. The visuals are solid. The action sequences are well done.
I think a lot of people were down on that because of the Deadpool factor, because of it is very much in that kind of
it is
comedy action meta thing,
and I am so aggressively burned out on action comedies because they're usually not good action movies and they're not good comedy movies. Like the comedy is never that good because it relies on the action, and the action's never that good because it relies on comedy. I'm not saying Bullet Train is an A+ stellar movie. I'm saying it's a solid B. It was fine. Like, but it was a fun. I got nothing to do tonight. I got 2 hours to kill. I'm gonna watch. Aaron Taylor Johnson's really good in it. I guess honestly, it's worth watching it for him and Michael Shannon. That's a reason enough to watch. Michael Shannon is number one reason to watch anything.
I mean, Brian Tyree.
He is probably my second favorite part of Bullet Train. Like him and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
And the possible new James Bond, if you've heard that news.
Allegedly, I don't think it would work out. I also don't think he'd be good at it. Also, I think after Tenet and Bullet Train now, I went from hating Aaron Taylor Johnson, the Kick-Ass era guy, to this newer. I hate Kick-Ass. That's really the only movie that I kind of enjoyed him in. I really like him in Tenet. I think it's an incredible performance that's very thankless. Especially because he kind of has to hold his own against Robert Pattinson, who is in that movie is just dripping with charisma. Like, it is just a weird sexual explosion of charisma from that guy in a movie that doesn't need it or ask him to do it. Like, the movie does not care about how sexy Robert Pattinson is in that movie, and yet somehow it shines through.
He even has that as in his brooding Batman character. Like, he can't not be. He
can't turn it off, and that's fine. It's why I love all the homoeroticism of The Lighthouse, because I'm like, I don't know if it's trying to be a little gay sexy. Well, I think it is, but even if it wasn't trying to be, you have Robert Pattinson there, and you're like, well, I mean, I'm a little turned on by this. I can watch him masturbate to a mermaid all day long. It doesn't bother me any. And then Doctor Strange, of course, I mentioned while you were gone. Like, we've had just so many action-y blockbuster movies this year that are all pretty good. Like, they're pretty good. They don't all suck. I haven't even seen Avatar yet.
Yeah, I just watched The Menu. It's on HBO Max.
I'm excited to watch that one.
That's a dark comedy horror movie that is I liked, but I think it's a little too goofy at the end.
That sells me on it more. Halfway. I prefer goofy.
Yeah, well, I would be interested in what you think of it. And Ralph Fiennes' performance is wonderful. Anya Taylor-Joy.
I'm a Nick Holt diehard. I love
Nick Holt in this movie is just something else. I'm not even going to say.
Have you seen The Favorite? Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz, Emma Stone, and Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, that one. I have not seen that. That's a director who's I feel I think I just haven't jumped into any of his movies because I feel kind of like bad that I haven't really gotten into him earlier. I know Dogtooth is like his first, like, at least in America, that was one that came over here and, blew people away. And I have not seen
a movie I generally find upsetting. Dogtooth.
Well, I mean, I think that's what it's supposed to do.
100%. But like, if you that's the kind of movie you watch once and you will love it. And then you're like, but I don't ever need to watch that again.
Yeah. I
love The Favorite.
I haven't seen The Lobster. I haven't seen
that one's
The Killing
good.
of a Sacred
Deer. I need to see that one too, but that's one of the few ones I haven't. Yeah. Well, but The Favorite is one of my, I will honestly say it's in my top 20 movies. Like, I absolutely adore The Favorite. And it's because Nicholas Hoult is a psycho in it, and I love it.
Did you see the trailer for Renfield yet?
Yes.
It looks dumb as hell.
Funny thing about my statement on action comedy, I wasn't expecting it to be an action comedy. I was hoping it was going to be a different movie than what the movie is trying to be. So I'm trying to temper my expectations. I was hoping this was going to be more cerebral than just, it's a dude who has superpowers and fights Dracula. All right, fine, whatever.
Here's the thing is, like, I think and mainly this is coming off of just seeing The Menu. I was like, oh, cool. Nicholas Hoult is doing basically another Warm Bodies, if you will.
Sure. Sure.
And look, you put Nicolas Cage in the fucking movie as Dracula. I don't know. I don't know how I'm not going to want to see that at least once.
That is, I will let you have at it. But I'll say the trailer made me less excited for the movie than seeing what it was about written on paper.
No, I don't think it looks good. I think it looks like it's going to be something.
That would be a good way to describe Bullet Train. It was something.
That's what I mean. But yeah, like entertaining movies. It's just, and like ones that aren't even like ones that for some reason didn't go to the theater, like Prey, was
insane that they have not even re-released it in theater. Like,
No.
I would go to a movie theater to watch that movie. Like, it was, I've seen it twice, and I would still go to a theater if they released it in there.
It's a fucking Predator movie. How can you not? Yeah. And I think there have been like
not just a Predator movie, the second best Predator movie ever made. I
personally put Predators above it, but just a little bit. But yeah,
and those three movies though. Well, the first one is a whole separate masterpiece on its own.
No,
but
it's
Predators and Prey are phenomenal movies, and I don't think either of them get the respect. I mean, I know people liked Prey when it came out, but truly, I think it's probably my top 10 movies of the year. Like, I just thought it was a mass. Like, what a great movie that another legacy sequel this year that was good. That was
apparently they like. The thing that everybody was saying is like, oh man, they could do stuff like, go to ancient Japan and do it with samurais. And that's what they're apparently going to fucking do.
They should. That's always what to be fair, that was the context kind of for the first two Predators even. The first one is man on a mission, whatever. Yeah. But the second one was like, oh, we have this cool monster. Well, let's put him in a city. Great. That's what every one of these movies should be like. Let's just put them in a different time and place. And the stretch Predators of going like, oh, well, let's go to a different planet. Well, all right, that one's a bit weirder and also fun and cool anyhow. But like,
and Alien versus Predator, let's make these movies bullshit.
Hey, the first Alien versus Predator is an alarmingly good movie, and I would like it shown some respect. Now, AVP Requiem is one of the worst movies ever made, and
I will show no respect to either of those movies.
Nope. What I will say, if you go back and watch the first AVP and go in knowing it's going to be a fucking PG-13 movie, which is its biggest mistake, it's a pretty fun, good watch. Lance Henriksen's really good in it.
Let's take these two sci-fi horror action movies that are known for their incredible violence and take out all the violence. But I do want to say, and we've gushed enough about Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's still a great movie.
It's not just great, but approachable. It's a movie that is weird and fun that I could recommend to my parents or my friends who don't like movies, or my wife's parent. Like, it's an approachable, good, weird movie.
Yeah. I just want to go through on my, and I put 12 on my favorites on my Letterboxd. So I just want to go through the other ones that we haven't really discussed, or I haven't mentioned. I've already mentioned Everything Everywhere, Nope, Babylon, Top Gun, RRR, Glass Onion, Elvis, but also I have Confess Fletch, which I didn't put in there because it got such a small release and then dumped on VOD for no reason. Like, everybody who's seen it, absolutely loves it. Jon Hamm is incredibly charismatic, as always.
Legitimately the perfect casting for the book character of Fletch.
Yes. And I want to go back and watch the original Fletch. And I think if there is a predecessor to Chevy Chase that in this era, I think it might be Jon Hamm. I think we wanted him to be.
I want to keep those two names too separate because Chevy Chase, I'll say this. Fucking piece of shit.
Chevy Chase is a piece of shit. But in his heyday, he was an hilarious actor.
But even not in his heyday. I'm rewatching Community. He's very funny on it. It sucks.
Yes.
It makes me feel bad.
But we wanted Jon Hamm for so long to be a Cary Grant or like a classic actor type, mainly because Mad Men. But
he's devastatingly attractive. Like,
yes, he's what you call
people that
handsome.
Good looking can't be funny, except apparently Jon Hamm can.
Yeah, and his niche is comedy. Being a handsome guy in comedy, but not just being a handsome guy in comedy in a way that I would say a Chris Hemsworth or Chris Evans would be, which they are both funny when the material presents it, but they're not primarily comedic actors.
Well,
John Hamm is a
go ahead.
Oh, John Hamm is a comedic actor,
and he's likes comedy communities, and he is, and this is a thing that is undervalued in Hollywood from a audience standpoint, not a professional standpoint, is that he is apparently just a delight to work with. Like, he is not a dramatic dude. He's not sitting in his trailer getting into the role or pretentious about like the craft of acting. He's generally like, I'm down to have a good time. I'm here to do my job. A great example, kind of going to steal a story, but Connor Ratliff, who hosts like the George Lucas talk show and Dead Eyes, the podcast, which is absolutely phenomenal. Josh, specifically, if you haven't listened to it, you would absolutely love every episode of it. But he tells a story. He's a New York improviser, kind of a struggling actor in his mid 40s. Like, he will never be a successful actor, but he is a good actor. He was doing a comedy show, and he just was in a show where he was like a bit player for as an extra on like a TV show, and like John Hamm was there, and he had known John before, so he had like, hey, they were just talking between takes or whatever, and he's like, I'm actually doing an improv show tomorrow night, like, if you wanted to come, you could come, thinking John Hamm, like, right, he's not gonna come,
he's
but
not gonna fucking
he's not gonna, but John Hamm, who this guy went to college with, like, they acted together at college, showed up, like, and they hadn't seen each other in 30 years, and John Hamm's like, fuck yeah, dude, I'll be there. And then like like, so he's just, and like, not to perform, or he just sat in the audience and watched the show. Like, John Hamm is just a cool dude by all accounts, of just like, no, he's nice, he's polite, he's approachable, you can just walk up and talk to him, and then also be in awe of his beauty.
Right. I also want to say, like, the cast in this, Lorenza Izzo, gorgeous woman, Italian, so yes. Kyle MacLachlan gives a Kyle MacLachlan performance. Roy Wood Jr., Mariska Gay Harton, and Mad Men reunion, John Slattery. So that's fun. Also, I have Hung for Jesus, Save Your Soul on here, a mockumentary about a disgraced minister of a church in Atlanta. It stars Regina Hall as the wife, and the main focus is on her because it's her, basically she's the long-suffering minister's wife, and that role is an important one in Black churches. Apparently they really get into that stuff, but it's also has Sterling King Brown, and they share a lot of, they share most of the movie together because they're, the couple, and it's both hilarious and sad and dark, and it's one that flew under the radar, and I think
because it was a Peacock, like it just one day it appeared on a streaming thing.
Yeah, well, also it was in theaters, and I wish I had gone to see it in theaters. It also, I think, think the advertisements sold it as a comedy more than it should have, because it is a drama. Also, Buck If You Nuck, I suggest watching the movie, but I will say, if you just watch 3 minutes of the movie, look up Buck If You Nuck, Hung for Jesus on YouTube. It is wonderful. Okay, and also the Banshees of Inisherin. I think I got it right this time. I'm usually, but it's Michael McDonough's new movie.
And maybe his best, in my opinion.
I would say it is his best.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, his second best is still In Bruges.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy Seven Psychopaths. Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, you like less when you really think about stuff.
I think it's a good movie that is overrated. Yeah. Like, it's just the Academy over. I think if it wouldn't have won so many awards, we'd all look back on it like, yeah, it was a good movie. But because it just had so many of awards that, frankly, I don't know if it deserved. But again, it's a good movie. It is. Everyone should watch it.
Frances McDormand got best actress.
Sam Rockwell's amazing in that movie as a racist.
Yeah, well, I think that's also something, people will like complain about people's reaction to like, oh man, oh, you can't stand like a redemption story for a bad person. It's like came out in 2008, 2017. Think about where we were and think about having a racist cop who, by the way, they used the specific word, tortured a suspect in custody. And it's just like, look, you could see why people would be turned off by that. Don't act like, like it's
Oh yeah, I'm not defending the script, but I will say Sam Rockwell is. You have to separate the acting and the performance from. Look, he did what was on the paper, and he made it. It could have been such a jokier, schlockier, simpler thing that like it. Yeah, that movie I think kind of completely falls apart if you just cast a guy to play a racist cop and don't cast somebody like Sam Rockwell to play that role.
Yeah, absolutely. And
but
this
Banshees.
Movie, oh, so great. It
is it the best Colin Farrell performance? I think it's maybe my favorite because,
but again, neither of us have seen like The Lobster or.
I've seen The Lobster.
Okay,
he's even more sad in The Lobster than he is in this movie. But he doesn't have a donkey, so it's not as cute.
And his transformation through the movie, based off of just, what, and it's in the first 5 minutes. Of
I was going to say, yeah, we should maybe mention what this movie is.
Right. Brendan Gleeson. And by the way, this is also like a big selling point for me because again, I still think In Bruges is, I think this Banshees just edges out In Bruges for my favorite Martin McDonagh movie. But one of the reasons, and he, McDonagh has also said he wouldn't have made this movie if he couldn't get both of them together again. Like if it was just Colin, if it was just Brennan,
and it is a movie you couldn't imagine any other actors playing either of those roles. Mm-hmm. Actually, and to go along with that, and I do want to look up her name because I don't want to be wrong on it. The sister,
Carrie Condon.
Yeah, she also I couldn't imagine another, or even Barry Kagan. I couldn't imagine anyone else playing that role.
That was good.
What this movie is, just I'm not going to go all the way towards the end because this is literally the plot of the movie is essentially revealed in the first 5 minutes. But yeah, Colin Farrell just plays a nice Irish man living in this nice small village on an island off the coast of Ireland.
He's not dim, but I would say he's a little simple.
He's a little, but he's just a country farmer boy. One day,
normal chat.
One day his friend just decides that he doesn't want to be his friend anymore, and that's the plot of the movie. It is 2 hours of that that continues to escalate, but it is literally just a nice guy who is told by his friend that we can't be friends anymore, and then it's just Colin Farrell becoming more and more sad, and then eventually more and more deranged. It's a very cool movie that's very funny.
Yeah, and I would consider this a dark fable. It has a weird, nothing supernatural really happens in it, but there is this overhanging I mean, there's literally a character that people think is a witch. I think,
and behaves like one.
Yeah. So I consider this like a dark fable. And
it's such a good take of the struggling artist. Where it frankly calls out that as bullshit. Like you don't have to be some troubled, dark soul to make beautiful music. You're just a psychopath. Which I love a thing that's kind of willing to say like, oh, look at the struggling artist, and then have the opinion like, yeah, but like that's not cool. Like this person sucks. Also, best donkey performance in a movie since Shrek. Love that donkey. Man, I love that donkey in this movie.
No, it's a pony.
No, it's a donkey.
Oh, that's a pony.
All right, doesn't he say you won't let me sleep inside with my donkey when I'm sad?
I think there's a donkey and a pony, but there's definitely a pony. The main
Jenny the donkey. The donkey is the adorable pet that lives inside the house.
It's a don. All right, I don't know the difference between a donkey and a pony apparently, but because there is the line, it's just like you spent 2 hours talking about the contents of your donkey shite. It was pony shite, and that. But anyway, it's very dark, but it's also very funny. In Martin
It's
McDonald
laugh out
style.
loud funny.
I'm
Yeah.
reading. I'm reading one of his plays, The Pillow Man, which is one of his more recognizable plays, and it's like, oh, this is a very grim, play, but it's also funny. Like there's unbearable parts of funny. Where In Bruges, to compare them, In Bruges is a comedy that has dark moments, that is also has moments of darkness and drama. This is a drama that has moments of incredible laugh out loud funny humor.
And the drama is literally just between two friends or two ex-friends. Like it is not some big grand scale. It is a very quiet movie that's very abusive towards police.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous to look at.
Yeah. The island that they shot on, just like there's so many like just random sweeping shots of the island that are just like, okay, this
Very Koenig,
again, to go back to In Bruges. It's just like he saw the setting and just like, okay, we'll just like do shots of these because holy fuck, it's beautiful. Anyway,
Barry Koenig might be one of the greatest simpleton performances of all time in a movie in this. I find his character upsetting and sad and depressing.
He might be.
There's so much depth
I don't like
character.
I don't like doing this kind of thing, like diagnosing is specifically a fictional character, but I think he's autistic. And in the 1920s, and by the way, during the Irish Civil War, which I think is an interesting juxtaposition for this movie.
Yeah, but it's all happening on a different island. I do like that it's just kind of a backdrop at a different island. No, it's not here though. Like you can literally hear the gun. War. You can hear the war happening across the strait. But like, it's not what this is about. It's not really what any of this is about.
But it's good symbolism. Okay, so just to move on for the sake of brevity, The Fabelmans. I was just enchanted by that movie. And again, just like I think Honk for Jesus Save Your Soul, and I would say Babylon, I don't think that this was marketed correctly. Like, because I think people are kind of, at least regular people, regular normie people, are really tired of the Hollywood movie that celebrates Hollywood.
Yep.
And that's what the advertising is giving you, really. But what it is a family drama seen through the eyes of a teenage boy who happens to love making movies.
Especially if you don't know the personal drama of Spielberg, because it's an autobiography. Yeah. Like the movie is about a real thing that happened to him. So, and I feel like you'd have to be a gross, deep, disgusting, pathetic type of nerd to know about Steven Spielberg's family life as a child. I do. So I'm very aware of what this movie is, and I've not seen it yet, but like I've read this stuff. I know this story, and that alone is what makes this, like, it's not just him talking about movies. It's directly him talking about his relationship with movies in regards to his family. Even if because I don't know specifically that stuff, but I've seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I've seen Jaws. I've seen what's another good one? E.T. Like, he has a thing about broken family dynamics in his movies. And so it's very, as somebody who doesn't know the specifics of that stuff, it is like, oh, I'm seeing where certain things in his movies come from. Say, since you've seen The Fabelmans, you know it now. It's not particularly hyperbolic. It is pretty much, oh, this is what happened. And it's a thing
Paul Dano gets cucked by Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
that's basically the movie.
But like, that's the movie.
Michelle Williams gives a great performance.
Of course, but it's very much like you watch a teenager understand that, like, and that's kind of
Yes.
what The Fablemans is about, is a teen. It's almost a coming of age thing of realizing your parents are also just two adult people.
Yeah.
Right, that have their own interests, their own likes, and their own conflicting personalities, maybe, or they have their own desires, and things, and maybe they don't even know it. But then it's the majesty of what you can capture on camera, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. All apparently exactly how it happened in real life, of just like showing his mom videos of just like, I mean, you like this guy, right?
Yeah.
And like, just
are you guys fucking?
like
And
unpacking that as a teenager, and spoilers, they're not. It's an emotional affair,
it's an emotional affair,
which is
yeah.
an incredibly complex thing, right? Like
which might
that's
be
not
worse. It might be worse.
100%. You could debate that is worse, and that's why The Fablemans is good, because
Yeah.
that's
No,
the shit The Fablemans is about. It's not about Steven Spielberg eventually made Indiana Jones. It's like, no, Steven Spielberg's a weird little dude because he kept watching his mom kind of cheat on his dad. Kind of. With his dad's best friend.
I
it's a lot
lost,
to unpack.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a cameo at the end of somebody playing John Ford.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who it is, I'm not going to spoil it because it is wonderful.
It's so good. It's such a it's so good.
And the last movie that I haven't mentioned in my 12 list is Resurrection. Just probably definitely the smallest movie on this list. Resurrection, Rebecca Hall, and I've described this to you when I was talking about horror movies of the past year. Rebecca Hall plays a mother. She plays like an exec at this, I think, pharmaceutical. I don't, it's one of those corporate things where I'm just like, I'm not really sure what she does, but I don't think it's that important. It's just like she's in a professional setting. That's what you need to know. And she thinks that she sees one day a man from her past, played by Tim Roth. And from there, it becomes like one of the tensest thrillers I have ever seen. Just Rebecca Hall, her mental state fucking deteriorating throughout the movie is, and like there's one, and just she has a monologue, and it's in one unbroken close up, and it is one of the most fucked up monologues I've ever heard, and she delivers it beautifully.
Rebecca Hall is one of those actresses that I will watch do whatever. Right. I'm constantly impressed at her range and skill and talent. I struggle to look away when I see her. There's just something that just kind of captivates me with everything she does. Just fascinating.
And Tim Roth is just fucking creepy in this movie. I love it. It's on
classic Tim Roth.
And just another smaller movie that I really liked from this year, The Watcher, or just Watcher. But that's also a Shudder exclusive, along with this one that I was able to see in theaters. But yeah, Resurrection. It should be on Shudder right now. So if you haven't seen it and you want something that's gonna fuck you up, that's one I highly recommend. That's my number 3 of the year that I've seen so far. And again, like just like you, I haven't seen Way of Water. It's a movie that I feel like I really need to schedule myself for, because
I literally was going tomorrow until I got called into work. So like now I don't know when I'll see it, but it'll be before the end of January.
Well,
I also think it will be in theaters for months. Like I don't think it's leaving.
It's one of those
theaters.
movies.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Like nobody wants to actually say it, but it's a Disney movie. It's going to be in theaters for months.
Well, yeah, unfortunately it's like a superhero movie where it's just going to eat up every theater in a multiplex. But unfortunately, or I should say, but fortunately, this is good by all accounts. Every review I've read for it has been like, it's good. I mean,
my thing is I don't know what the fuck it's about. Even like reviews
Okay, go
will
back and
not
look
tell
at the
me what the
first
fuck it's
movie.
about.
What the fuck's that about? It's about blue
Yeah,
people who fight.
yeah.
It's about CGI things fighting mechs. The second is about CGI things fighting mechs, and there's also whales. Like that's it. Don't go into Avatar looking for some deep fucking meaning. This isn't Banshees. This isn't Tar. This is a movie that you're supposed to go and eat popcorn to. Don't think about Terminator 2. Just enjoy Terminator 2. Like it's a long though.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I think I would have preferred if people, and this is another reason I'm not on. I need to stay off of fucking Twitter and film Twitter specifically. They're acting like it's the anti-blockbuster, and it really is fucking.
Oh,
not.
I do not think that is. Look, I assure you, I'm on Twitter 1,000 times more than you are. And that is not the vibe I get at all from film Twitter, where they're like, this is what blockbusters should be. Like, it's not the anti-blockbuster. It's the guy who co-invented the goddamn genre, proving that like nobody is better at making a blockbuster. Like, yeah, you all tried to do these things. Marvel tries to do this. None of you are as good at it as James Cameron is. Not a single one of you has ever been as good as James Cameron is at making a blockbuster. There's a reason the dude made Titanic. There's a reason the dude made T2. Like, the dude knows how to entertain. He also knows how to keep it real simple for the dumb folk. So don't try to overthink and add any grand. People keep trying to add value to Avatar beyond the fact that it's just a visual spectacle and a cool fucking movie. That's all it needs to be. Quit. What else does it need to be?
This is exactly what I want to hear more. It's just like, yeah, that's all it needs to be. I don't think it's going to. And here's the thing. I don't know. I'm not one of those people who thinks that Avatar had no cultural value, but I am just like, it's not a movie that I revisit. It's not a movie that I feel like I need to watch. It's not a movie that I particularly enjoyed when I first saw it.
I did in theaters because that's how it was designed. I went and saw that 3D and thought it was cool, and then rewatched it on DVD and thought it was the dumbest fucking movie I'd ever seen my entire life. Which
I didn't see it in theaters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I still am not like, I don't think Avatar is a masterpiece of a movie, but if you go back and watch it now after watching like all the Marvel and DC universes, like you start to respect more of, there is a craft to this. Like, we've watched so many CGI things punch other CGI things and have it feel so empty and hollow. And if you go back and rewatch Avatar, when the giant Native American blue man punches a mech, you actually feel like that's a real thing that happened on screen, even though it looks more fake than like a Marvel movie does. It feels more real because James Cameron is just better at the craft, and also because he takes 6 years to make these movies and he takes his time and he has the budget that these other movies just simply don't have. I mean, look, this movie costs like $1 billion to make, so like it better visually look good. Also, Sigourney Weaver plays a 13-year-old in it. I'm excited for this movie. Yeah, say what you will, at least it's weird. Like, at least it's Sigourney Weaver's playing a 13-year-old. Look, even if it's dumb, that's a weird choice. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah. I think and I don't know. I think that there's, I don't know. I'm just fucking sick of film Twitter. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of like everybody pretending like we're not part of the problem when it comes to that we're not.
I'm curious what part of film Twitter you are on that is different than the part of film Twitter I am on.
Just this pretentious bullshit. I don't know. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done with all the hate.
You
just seeing hate all the time of like, I just saw somebody just like, this is stupid too. This fucking nerd shit, this fucking Marvel shit. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm getting emotional because I want to stop talking about Marvel.
Well, when it quits dominating the market, we can.
No, I'll just stop talking about it. If I don't want to see it, I'm not going to talk about it. That's the thing. But my whole thing is just like, somebody showed like the scheduled releases of IP stuff, superhero movies, whatever. And just like, we're living in hell. It's like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. Just watch movies you want to watch. Just watch movies you like. I'm fucking tired of like this negativity. It makes me feel like shit if I enjoy something that's not high art, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And I'll admit the only part of film Twitter I'm on is the professional part of it, film critics. And I will not engage or open comments. I follow film critics on Twitter and I don't follow human beings because human beings are trash. Because apparently 90% of people who are on film Twitter think Zack Snyder's a good director, right? Like you have that kind of shit. We're like, well, he had this grand DC plan. He fucking didn't. Shut the fuck up. You have all that kind of. It's just.
I mean, even the critics, like I saw somebody say, like, "Oh, you're Marvel brain if you didn't like Blonde." Like that bullshit. That's that's
a terrible critical take. Because Blonde has a lot of problems. So does the book Blonde is based off of. Look, there's 1,000 reasons not to like Blonde, and there's a couple reasons to like it. Like it's whatever. It was fine. I found it a difficult watch.
I think my whole thing is just like I don't want to feel like shit if I just so happen to like a Marvel movie. I don't want to feel like shit if I like something that's considered not high art.
I feel bad because I want to like all the Marvel movies. I wanted to like Doctor Strange more than I did. And again, I thought Doctor Strange was fine. It was good. Yeah. I guess that's the compromise though. I think all Marvel movies are at worst fine. I don't think there's any of them that are like, I think there's maybe
Thor, Love and Thunder.
I think that's maybe the worst of all of them. Frankly,
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest. I don't plan on seeing a Marvel movie this next year. I don't want to see any Marvel stuff.
I think you seem to be forgetting that a Spider-Verse 2 is happening this year.
MCU.
Okay.
MCU.
All right.
We'll say that.
But Spider-Man's in Marvel.
MCU, I have no desire to watch any of the TV shows, see any of the movies. I just want people to shut the fuck up about them.
I really like Hawkeye. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was fun
too. She-Hulk rules. She-Hulk is fantastic. Have not seen it. You would legitimately like She-Hulk.
I think I would. I think I would. I'm not going to get Disney Plus. And I just don't. Here's the thing. I'm only on this earth for so much longer. And there's thousands, if not millions, of movies that I have not seen from the past that I need to. So there's that, and like. What I want to see in theaters right now is, I don't know. It's just
no. I think that's something you and I disagree on a lot. Just because I like to keep up to date with this shit. Look, I watch all the Marvel and Star Wars stuff. I don't care for most of it, but it is what the culture is at the moment, and I feel like I want to be informed and engaged with that, and the past is dead, so I don't give a fuck. You give me shit all the time, lovingly, about like I don't like movies that were made before I was born, and the truth is you're 100% correct. I don't give a fuck about movies that came out before I were born unless they directly influence the movies I'm watching now. But even then,
all those movies did directly mostly indirectly, but
yes, but also they won't forever, right? There will be a time where the Labyrinth is more influential than like something from the 1940s, right? Just because there's going to be more people like me making the movies, because it's the same thing with like the law, right? Like, hey, guess what? The people making laws in the country and specifically the state you live in right now all suck, right? Because all the people making those laws are about 4 years away from dying.
Here's
because they're old as balls.
I think when it comes to art, I think that's a bad metaphor.
I don't currently. I would like to think it's a bad metaphor, but I just feel like there will be at some point when you're doing a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, the original thing doesn't matter anymore. The original thing is now mute.
I think. And have you seen Babylon yet?
No, and I probably won't, because there's not a thing in that movie that interests me.
And that's the thing, is it's like, for me, as somebody who does find Hollywood history interesting, it's and first off, it's not a love letter.
Oh no, I'm aware.
It's an examination of what it is. I would say it's a deranged remake of Singing in the Rain. But yeah, I mean, that stuff just interests me, and I think it's more or less, as somebody who is also making stuff, I'm always hesitant to call myself a filmmaker, but I've made a few things in the past couple of years, very low standard stuff. And I'm not saying like everybody else who worked on it did a great job. My cinematographer, my producer, the actors, everybody. I think I need to up my game. I need to personally up my skills. But as somebody who like enjoys the filmmaking aspect, I will watch. I sent you a screenshot of Taxi Driver because I thought it was fucking crazy that there is a extra in the fucking movie wearing an Inside Out Columbia t-shirt. And I was just like, just get a white t-shirt if it's anyway. I don't know.
Well, but that's also from the era where a lot of the people who are just bit players in Scorsese movies aren't actors. They're just people he knew in New York, or just maybe a crew guy that they needed himself. Yes, or it's like a crew guy who just like, I need someone else in the shot. The frame looks empty. Turn your shirt inside out, though. We can't have that because we don't know who's going to distribute this movie yet. So turn it inside out.
I like that you have the energy of Scorsese in that impression without doing the voice.
I can't do the voice. I think it's racist.
The pictures, the red shoes,
and the Scorsese thing, I think, is a good segue for me to talk about a movie I know you haven't seen, but are probably excited to hear what I think about. Tar. We haven't really talked about Tar yet. By all accounts, I went into Tar going, well, this is going to be my movie of the year. It's aggressively my shit. And then I walked away from it feeling like I do when I watch most Scorsese movies, which is I do not value movies about bad people. And I think you will like Tar a lot. Tar is probably my third favorite movie of the year. So look, I'm going to be a little critical off the bat here, just because this is my general tone, but I'm bringing my personal baggage to a movie. And again, I think this is another thing that really differentiates things between you and me. You are a filmmaker. I am an actor. Like, that is what I went to school for. That is, I do the improv stuff. Like, I am engaged in performance and acting, which is why I'm so much more relate it to now and not copying. I'm not just everything you're saying is right. Everything I'm saying is right. We have different frames of reference for the way we view things. So I have never liked Scorsese movies, as anyone who's listened to any episode of this has gone through, for the most part, because it's usually about toxic guys being toxic pieces of shit. And not often, but sometimes they learn their lesson. But even when they do, in like Goodfellas, that lesson is, well, you go to jail and get to play Eric Clapton. Like it's not like the world is over or whatever. Tar has a similar issue for me, where it is a 2.5 hour long movie about a toxic human being who is bad, who does modernly toxic stuff. Now, there's been a few takes online about that this is a movie about cancel culture. It is not a movie about cancel culture. It's a movie about one person who sucks, just like every other Scorsese movie. The difference is it's a woman who sucks, but she's a lesbian. So when she's mean to women. When she abuses people, she abuses women. Has a lot of similarities to Raging Bull, in my opinion, in that, like, oh, that woman's too young for you to be hitting. Okay, we're doing this now. All of which I think is unbelievably well performed by Cate Blanchett. There is a scene early in the movie, within the first 30 minutes of it, that is her guest speaking at Juilliard and essentially teaching an orchestration class at Juilliard, and it's 10 minutes uninterrupted. There is no cuts. It is a single take of 10 minutes of her being really mean to one student. And it is upsetting, as somebody who, again, went to college for performance, to watch. Look, there's a lot of things that you make fun of for people who like teach acting classes, right? I will say, one of my performance professors in college, I watched make multiple people cry and storm out of the classroom, right? Like, that whole getting to that emotional, like, that is a real thing. I watched it happen in real time in Tar in a way that I found unbelievably entertaining to watch. But also, I have a lot of personal baggage of like, oh man, fuck. I've been in this classroom when this shit has happened before. But like, even at the end of that scene, before the guy storms off, he calls her a misogynist. Like, she believes in music, of what, like, there's just so much. She sucks, and that's the whole arc, because the last 30 minutes is you watch her career and life plummet in a way that feels so good. Like, you just, like, it just goes from, all right, she's gonna lose her job, and then you like find out she did things far worse than what you kind of were. There's a lot of abuse that is implied that you don't directly have to experience, but because we all live in 2023, we know exactly what the fuck is going on. So I love that the movie makes the right choices not to show that abuse, but like, there's just those text messages from other people that come out, or just like the, hey, you might want to get a lawyer. Why? You're a ex-assistant, maybe leaked some emails. You don't need to see those emails. You know, you know exactly
Look,
what is happening.
She should have taken a lesson from Catherine Hahn in Glass Onion and not email stuff like that.
Well, and it's very much like, oh, I deleted all those. Like, there's even a Chris D'Elia moment where like she's like, oh, I deleted all those emails, and someone has to be like, you know, that's not like how that works, though, right? Like, you can't just delete them off your computer and those emails go away. That's not how any of the, like, there's one of those moments. And again, this movie is a comedy. Like, it's a dark comedy. It is very funny. And there is something cathartic about watching like literally the greatest conductor in the world fall all the way to, minor spoilers for the end of this movie, but it ends with her in Thailand directing a video game orchestra at a convention, where she's directing an orchestra playing the music from Monster Hunter to a bunch of nerds dressed up like Monster Hunter. So she goes from the premier German conductor in the world to doing video game convention. Like, that is the fall of this character over the course of this movie. And it is hilarious and beautiful to watch. And if it wasn't for my just disdain of watching shitty people be glorified in movies, it'd be my number one movie of the year. Thankfully, Banshees of Inisherin is about a nice man who just wants to be friends with somebody. And that's why it's probably my second favorite movie of the year. Like, that's why it even got bumped up above Tar. Tar is beautiful. It's such a well-written script. Cate Blanchett is probably going to win Best Actress for it. Like, it's one of those performances from her that is just like unbelievable. I mean, I highly recommend this movie. Fucking rules. Like, it's so good, but the things that hold it back for me are the same thing that hold me up on so many other movies. And again, these are personal hangups. This has nothing to do with Todd Field's directing in this movie is unbelievable. There's a lot of like takes online where she's kind of like haunted by her past, but being haunted by bad things you did is not like haunted. In my opinion, that's a different thing completely. And in all frankness, it's consequences for your actions, which is why people are like, oh, it's a movie about cancel culture. It's not. People make actions and there are consequences. That's literally the plot of every fucking movie that's ever been made.
Right. And I mean, just about the bad person thing. I mean, like, having rewatched Taxi Driver again, and I was gonna talk about how, I see, like, that's, I want to know how he did that. I want to know how he did that. That's an interesting way to edit this scene. That's an interesting way to move the camera. But also, rewatching it, I saw it less as, you know, a lonely guy, and more of what we're seeing as incels now, that behavior. And it's not like a glorification. It's not, you know, it's an examination. And that's what I like about the way Scorsese does it, and why I'm interested in how Todd Fields does it here, because this is, and yeah, you say it's not a Me Too movie, but this is something that we've seen in the past, you know, 5-6 years, is, you know, how these things are popping up, how the, you know, the Weinstein stuff popped up, how the Cosby stuff popped up. And in all fairness, for both of those examples, they didn't just pop up. They were happening for a long time. And most of the time, we all just chose to ignore it. Yeah. Oh, no. You're right. You know, and you get the Kevin, you know, and you know, harder when it's like, you know, people you like. Kevin Spacey, you know, is you know, I don't want to give him praise, but he is a great actor. But
well, even an example from this year, there was a reason you didn't see a lot of tributes to William Hurt after he died.
Oh my God, really?
I'm
William
not saying
Hurt.
he's full. I'm not saying he's full Weinstein, but I'm saying he was a notorious asshole to people. He
Oh,
was
sure. Yeah.
notorious for just being a rude asshole to people on set. So a week after he died, everyone moved on because like just people don't care. Because he did not make friends. He was not he's not like Gene Hackman, who was by all accounts, Gene Hackman is a rude, very terse guy, but like there's a difference between being rude and not nice and just being an outward, like a direct asshole.
Yeah.
You know, so you have someone like William Hurt who like, yeah, no, the reason nobody is like dying to do remembrances of him, you know, you're like, that shit matters. The way you treat other human beings matters, especially after you die.
Yeah. And, and that's why I'm interested in it, because it's more of a reflection. I think it's not the Me Too movie. It's more of a reflection of what, you know, that kind of thing, how that kind of thing happens, and the kind of person, you know, to follow that person, to follow, you know, I don't think that there's a 1-to-1 comparison. You know, maybe a Aziz Ansari, but maybe that's even like not a good one to make. But
all of it shit's complicated.
Yeah. But and by the way, this is given I feel like a new genre of Twitter thread, which is person misunderstanding movie Twitter thread.
Oh boy, that's an element of film Twitter I have a hard time with.
Mousy and Chong, you know, they put out the clip that you're talking about of the kid in the class, how she kind of, you know, dresses him down. And you know, right wingers were kind of celebrating. It's like, yeah, this is the anti-cancel culture movie, and it's just like, no. And you know, it happened with Nope with Logan Paul, and it just recently happened with Ben Shapiro, where I think that there's a different. Here's the thing: Logan Paul, for as much shitty shit that he's gotten into, even recently, if you look into his NFT bullshit that was basically a scam.
Every NFT thing is a scam. I just want that crystal clear out there. Just want that crystal clear for everybody. All crypto and NFT stuff is currently a scam. I'm not saying crypto can't be fixed, but it's not there yet.
Yes, but this was like getting investors involved and stuff like that, and then never making the product. Even for like NFTs and crypto, that's some scam shit. You know, him not understanding Nope, I feel is different than Ben Shapiro not understanding Glass Onion, because Logan Paul, to quote Benoit Blanc, he is an idiot.
So is Ben Shapiro. He's a racist little goblin.
He is, but he's an idiot with a political agenda. So I feel like he was purposefully obtuse.
He is an idiot from my backyard who I have like actively will troll in person.
Wait, what?
He's from here.
He's from Minneapolis?
Yeah. He's one of us. So
wait, does he live there? Or
I don't know if he still does, but like his stuff is still based out of here, because I have to deal with a lot of coworkers. Who are Daily Wire people who like to drink from leftist tier mugs. So it was a real that's a real thing in reality in a fucking workplace like that. I don't want to get. I have a lot to unpack that I've been very angry about at work over the last couple of weeks with some of the right wing nonsense that I have to put up with all the time, every day. And again, Tar is not about any of that. Tar is just about one shitty person who does bad things, and then you have a lot of fun watching their like life fall apart.
And Cate Blanchett gives, and from what I hear, the movie is more or less split up into dialogue scenes. It's more or less like I've heard it's like it feels like it's more of a play. It could be.
I don't know. I mean, there's dream sequences and shit. Like there's fantasy sequences in the movie. Like, no, it's a movie. I couldn't see this on a play. I could see
I
Kate
think it's
Blanchett do that.
because of
I
how
think it's because of that one scene that is like a play because it's one take and it's 10 minutes long and it's in one location. But I mean, there are entire dream sequences. There's fantasy sequences. There's it takes place during COVID. It doesn't not talk about that. Like it doesn't not address the COVID scare. There's a scene where she helps a sick woman and then runs into her house and like throws all of her clothes on the ground and starts washing herself in the sink because she helped someone that was sick. It's very it's a comedy, and I know you will really like this movie. I
Right.
also don't think you'll like it more than Banshees of Inisherin.
Probably not.
But I do
okay.
think you would like this movie, and I think from a directing standpoint, I think you would be impressed by because Todd Field hasn't made that many movies.
And I haven't seen. No, I've seen Little Children. I've seen Little Children. That's why I haven't seen In the Bedroom, which I hear is amazing as well.
And I know Todd Field mostly from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So I have very little knowledge.
What did Todd Field do for Aqua Teen Hunger
He plays the collection of mold that Master Shake eats.
I guess I don't remember that episode, but that's interesting. That's is he an actor by originally, or is that what that is?
I can't say I'm 100% certain. I am not 100% sure. He's definitely acted in more things than he has directed.
Right.
I want to show you the character that he plays in Aqua Teen Hunger Force because I know you will recognize him immediately because it's just such an iconic character from the series. And I think I don't think there will be any doubt in your mind on who I'm talking about, but it is mind blowing that this guy is who is now this is the guy now who is
probably going to be nominated for an Academy Award.
Honestly, if Banshees doesn't win Best Picture,
oh, okay, yeah, I remember him. Yeah,
right?
Drippy.
Yeah, that's Todd Field. That's the director of Tar, and that's after I didn't look that up till after I saw Tar, but that was all I could think about now that is on my radar. I'm just like, oh shit, he's my favorite Aqua Teen Hunger Force character, and he directed one of my favorite movies of the year. Like, I've been very critical of a movie that rules.
Let's get into your other things that we haven't talked about.
Sure. Well, the other I only really got two because we talked about Banshees quite a bit, which is my big one. The other couple little ones I want to talk about just real quick that I think people maybe slept on or maybe haven't gotten the attention they deserve. Marcel the Shell is the best animated movie of the year. It's the most heartfelt movie I saw this year, even beyond Everything Everywhere All at Once. Or RRR even, which is a movie that is 3.5 hours of sincerity yelled at your face. Look, it's a big old action movie, but it is nothing but sincere the entire time, which is what I'm starting to love again about movies. I think maybe that's the difference between even Avatar and the other blockbusters is at least with Avatar, I believe like every decision being made is sincere and not cynical, where, everything is quippy and whatever. But, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is a Jenny Slate, and then she made it with her currently ex-husband, and it's based off a series of YouTube shorts and then a children's book they wrote just off this little character she created called Marcel the Shell, who's just a little boy who's a shell who lives in a house and just is learning about how the world works. At least that's how the YouTube shorts are. The movie is about Marcel the Shell, but really it's about Jenny Slate's divorce from her husband who made the movie. So it's a very complex.
And haven't they been divorced for a while?
For like 5 or 6 years.
Dating, she was dating Chris Evans for a while.
For quite some time, and they're obviously still very close. They made this movie together. Yeah, but it is. There is a lot of divorce stuff.
Cox situation.
Yeah,
I feel.
And again, it is a very cute, very funny movie. But essentially this house is being rented out as an Airbnb. This guy who's a filmmaker moves in, and he's the guy who made the Marcel the Shell shorts that were originally out. Like, so even in canon, the YouTube shorts exist, because he met this little girl who's a shell and she lives there and she's adorable, or Marcel is a boy.
Played by Jenny Slate though.
Played by Jenny Slate. But she's played a lot of boys, as a big fan of her in the Kroll Show. I think what elevates the movie is that she spends most of the time taking care of her grandmother, played by Isabella Rossellini.
Oh,
Yeah. And her grandmother's getting up there in age.
mm.
And it's about family, because all there used to be
but around these parts we say it this way. It's about family.
It's about family. Look at this new image of Vin Diesel in Fast 10 that could have been photocopied from any of the previous 10 movies. No, but
yeah,
like
that's not something I'm excited about, unfortunately.
Yeah, that last one's really soured everyone's taste on. You know what? They never should have gotten rid of James Wan. Vin Diesel's the problem.
James Wan or Justin Lin.
Yeah,
those are two of the best directors that have done the franchise.
Nobody will work with Vin Diesel anymore. Like, people have been like, Vin's out of control, we're done working with him. But so like, the reason this house is on an Airbnb is because the people who lived there got divorced, and now neither of them want to be in the house, so they Airbnb it out and kind of have gone their separate ways. Over the course of that, though, all of Marcel's family kind of gets lost. So they all used to live in this house. There was like 30 of them. Her concept of family is like, no, everybody's my family. Like, this is my cousin, but also like my ninth cousin. And this is just my neighbor, but we love them. Like, right. Like it's my idea of family, which is, it's just the people around us. It's not the people you're born from. But they're all little shell-like creatures that live there. It's some of the best animation I've ever seen in a movie, because the filming is real and then they're animated. Right. Like, so like, it has to be,
it
has to look
situation.
Like a real thing, except, well, the difference is Marcel's a shell. Like, she's a real thing, not a cartoon character in the world.
Right.
One of her family members is a tampon, like an anthropomorphic tampon. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, there's just a lot going on, like, in this thing. And so like, the family gets separated, and then her grandma's dying and she's going to be like left alone. So it becomes her journey to try to find her family. Spoilers, they do. So you get the big heartwarming, like, all of my family's back in the house and we're all like learning to be okay again. And it's the kind of movie that ends with a funeral for Isabella Rossellini. Like, it's a real, what a warm, of all the movies that made me feel stuff this year, which, are Everything Everywhere All at Once. The first, when I saw that in theaters, I cried so much, like ugly crying. I saw the Moonage Daydream, the David Bowie documentary, made me cry a lot. RRR made me cry, frankly. Like, that was a different kind of crying, but that movie got me so just invested in what was going on. I cry for everything. But this movie, I laughed the whole time. Like, I was having a good time. At no point is the movie sad, and yet it's incredibly tugging at the heartstrings in a way that doesn't feel pretentious or manipulative. It just feels like, I love this little boy. This little boy is doing his best to take care of his grandma. He's clearly very sad and alone, but he's also an optimistic, happy little kid. It's just, Jenny Slate's not going to win any awards for this movie. She deserves to. Isabella Rossellini's not going to win any awards. She deserves to. The visual effects team won't win any awards. They deserve to. It's at least getting nominations for best animated movie, because it is
that's
for
good.
the most part. It is. 99% of it is animated.
For what I can remember, I don't think there's much else that will that I know that might not.
DC Super Pets. It's going to change the power structure of the entire DC universe. Turning Red, I think is on this year's.
I'm sure that's going to be nominated. I don't see any of the other Disney animated
there
movies.
was Lightyear. There was Strange Worlds.
I don't think those are going to be. Turning Red is the one that
Strange Worlds might get some visual effects stuff, because there is some really cool visual stuff in it, like good alien monster stuff.
Right.
But I'm biased because I'm pretty horned up for just give me cool aliens. That's really all I fucking care. Like, look, if Nope had nothing else but one cool alien in it, Nope would have ruled for me. Thankfully, it has more than just one cool alien in it. It has a lot of great actors and one cool fucking alien in it. I love that alien. I love Jean Jacket.
I think for visual effects, it's going to go to Avatar. I mean, like I don't think like there's any other choice in that. I think sound is going to go to Nope. I think sound should go to Nope.
Um,
Because if it did you see that in theaters?
nope.
Yes, that's the movie I'm talking about. I don't know if you're answering the question or not. I genuinely, I was just like,
I did not. I did not.
okay, it is incredible in a surround sound area. So I think like best sound design has to go to Nope, in my opinion.
I have no. I watch Tar. It's a movie about an orchestra conductor. There's some real cool sound stuff they do in that movie. Again, there's also like dream sequences and shit. What a good year. That's all I want to say. Marcel the Shell, I think, is a sleepy movie that's not going to get the attention it deserves. But I don't know. So my wife's parents were up here during Thanksgiving, and we were just trying to think of movies to watch, and I kind of annoyed everyone because I'm like, well, we should watch my favorite Thanksgiving movie, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. The best Thanksgiving movie. And
I had to be an old lady to get these.
So I was sitting. I was actually sitting at our table working on a Lego kit with my back to the TV while that movie's on, and my wife and her mom and dad are just sitting there watching it and kind of just shooting the shit. Right? It's one of those we put on the movie to not pay attention to the movie, and then like my wife had to chime up with hey, do you know you've been saying every line of the movie the entire time you've been working on that Lego kit? I'm like, nope, didn't cross my mind. It's just a movie I know like verbatim, word for word. Apparently,
which is weird because like you shouted out, "Bone Stars ready."
Well, and unfortunately, that also leads to the one really upsetting part of that movie that is hard to go back to, the homophobic joke. Homophobic, your boyfriend make that for you?
2001
correct line. And like the thing is, it's
definitely of the time.
It's literally the only imperfection for me in Spider-Man 1, and it's a big one. But then we put on Marcel the Shell, and like it's so good that even afterwards, her mom, who's not like a person who like cares, they love The Big Bang Theory, right? Like they're just of that age. She was like, oh, that was like a really good movie. And I was like, oh, yes, Marcel the Shell is a very good movie. Everyone should watch this movie. It's the best. All right, I'll power through the last two I got. I've talked about it a little bit on the show.
That wasn't one of the last two?
That was one of the last two. The Rehearsal.
Okay.
Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal on HBO Max, 6 episodes.
Right.
Everybody should watch everything about it. I've talked about it on previous episode. I won't go into it too much more. I think it's the most perfect piece of media that came out last year. For here is the goal of this show. Did we accomplish that goal? I think it does it better than any other show, including Andor, because the first 3 episodes of Andor aren't good compared to the last 9 episodes of Andor. The Rehearsal is 6 episodes long. The first episode is 45 minutes. The rest of them are 30. You can watch it in one sitting. It's a masterpiece. But as far as movie things that aren't going to get any attention this year, that everyone who likes movies should engage with, is the video game Immortality. And I'm going to get a little spoilery about Immortality because, frankly, it's been out almost this whole year.
Spoilery about everything that you've described.
Well, we're well past anything else. These are all things that came out in May of this year. So if you haven't caught on to it, fuck it, we're past the statute of limitations. Immortality is a video game where you just watch clips of movies. That is it. That is the extent of the interaction you are doing with this video game. So anyone can play it. It is currently free as a mobile app if you have Netflix. You can play it on your phone, although I would at least recommend playing it on like an iPad or a tablet. Play it on something a little bit bigger of a screen. But beyond that, if you can play it on a TV with a video game controller, it's on every console. You can play it on the Switch. You can play it on a computer. You can play it on a PlayStation, Xbox, any version of all of them. You can play it.
Look it up on my Xbox.
It's fairly cheap. I highly recommend you play it with a controller because there's some stuff it does with the vibration that becomes very critical to the game. That because I was playing with at my computer, I did not actually. There's an entire mechanic in the game I didn't know about because I couldn't feel a thing vibrating in my hands. There are audio cues happening that tell you when that stuff should happen, but I did not pick up on those audio cues. It wasn't until I was literally charging a controller in my computer when it vibrated in the middle of a sequence that I was watching on TV and going, wait, why the fuck did my controller just vibrate? Rewound the sequence, it did it again. And then this is going to seg me up to why we should talk about this. So you're watching this movie and you watch little 2-minute clips. And then that clip ends and you can rewind and fast forward and you can kind of scrub the video to see if you can pick up on clues. The mechanic of the game is you can click on anything you see and it will take you to a different clip somewhere else in the timeline of essentially there are 3 movies you are watching. There's a movie made in 1970, a movie made in 1980, and a movie made in 1999. They all star the same actress. None of these 3 movies got released. This actress, for some reason, has not aged between the 3 movies. And you have to figure out what is going on. It starts with 1 2-minute clip. And then you can click on, I think like most human beings, I clicked on the actress's face, right? Like, because you're just like, well, if the mechanic is click on this thing and it'll take you to other things. So you click on her face and then it takes you to another random clip of that same actor. Now, it's not just the face. You can click the carpet, right? If you click a red carpet, it will take you to other scenes with that red carpet in it. Maybe that matters. If you click a light, it'll take you to another scene with a light in it. It may be relevant. It might not be relevant to what you're doing, but that might lead you to something else. It's pretty easy because of the generational shifts in movies for you to always know where you're at as far as timeline, right? Because you're doing a 1970s movie. Clearly, the director of that is a Stanley Kubrick thing. Like it's clearly, you know what kind of movie it's doing. The second movie, the 80s one, has a lot of Scorsese energy. It happens to be filmed in New York. Right. But it has like almost a Taxi Driver look to it. It's got Andy Warhol shows up in that a little bit. But because these are unaired movies, these aren't edited clips, right? So you'll see the cut happen. And then you'll watch like the director walk out and give notes, like the camera keeps rolling after stuff. So you get to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You get to see auditions, right? Eventually you can unlock literally the lady's audition for the first movie in the movie. So you watch these 3 movies, you watch a couple like TV show appearances where they show up on like Johnny Carson show and all these different things. And you just start to piece together this story. Eventually, and I'm going to give the example of how I did it to really show that I'm a gross perverted man. There's a sex scene in one of the movies. I'm going to rephrase that. There's a sex scene in a bunch of these movies, but there's a cinematographer in the first movie who thinks that the actress is very special. So he's working with her on a couple scenes to try to highlight her. And he's trying to do more experimental filming, kind of trying to, because a lot of these movies take place in transition periods for cinema as far as like what becomes the main style of we're going out of a studio system into an auteur style into frankly the gross look of the 90s that I find very off-putting, very sexualized and videotape kind of look that I just like is just like nails
that very low res kind of indie style.
But again, as a film nerd, I appreciate that the game is doing all these because I get what they're saying, and it helps you log where you're at in the timeline visually because you know what this looks like. So like, I know this is the 90s movie. I know this is this one. I know. So it's great. So there is a scene where they were blocking a sex scene choreography to try to make this lady look great. And the cinematographer is making a pitch like, I want to film this and I want to take it to the director so we can actually like, I want to make an argument why this is why we should film it this way. So he films this test scene and it's not like a sexy set. It's blocking, right? There's a lot of consent going on and stuff, but it does kind of escalate to a point where they like turn off the camera and fuck. But again, they turn off the camera and fuck. Now she is topless for most of the scene, and my controller vibrated at my desk while it was going on. I'm like, well, that was a weird thing to do, right? So I rewind the video and I watch the scene again, and again, not really complaining. Attractive lady not wearing clothes, a very attractive man not wearing much for clothes. I'm in. And my controller vibrates again in the same spot. What the hell's going on? So this time I scrub black slowly because I'm a gross pervert who likes looking at naked people. And so I'm slowly going in reverse and a music cue starts escalating. And over the course of the reverse, it looks like someone wiped off a part of the screen and the actress was no longer the actress I'd been following. It was something else. It was not what was there. So
Okay.
then
Now I'm gonna stop you right here because I want to play this.
yes,
You've sold me. I think you've sold anybody else watching, listening.
I've been
I
sitting
think
on the
it's
shit all year. Then you need to play it because I desperately need to talk about what this thing has to say about art, because this is, you get to watch 3 entire movies and then you watch them all again knowing new things, and then you learn that there's other stuff going on and there's other things and things. Ultimately, this is a whole piece about what is art, and also can art be personified. So I really, Jesus
yeah.
Christ is in this,
I'll
right?
look.
Like
Yeah, I'll look into it on my Xbox.
it's free if you have Game Pass on your Xbox. You
Oh,
literally do not have to pay
then
money to play this.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
but
Um.
I guess above everything that happened this year, everything everywhere, all these movies, I have not been affected by anything more than Immortality, both from a video game perspective and maybe not since Hedwig and the Angry Inch has a piece of media changed me. Like
Right.
functionally augmented the way I look at art in general, the what is and what isn't, what can and can't be. Um, I was scared during this. Like I was terrified. There's nothing horrifying in this. There's not like a jump scare. There's nothing gory. There's nothing that graphic. Even the gory stuff you see, it's a movie, right? So you watch the makeup people come out and put blood, like it's
Right.
you're
Yeah.
watching behind the scenes of a movie. So it's not like it's anything as scary, but there is stuff that put impending doom in my being to a point where I don't know what art is anymore. And it's completely changed the way I look at all art going forward. Like everything I've experienced artistically after playing this game / watching these movies. Because again, they're just movies. You're not clicking buttons, you're not shooting anything. You're literally just rewinding film and fast forwarding film and rewinding. That's it. That's the whole thing. I there was a part where I came upstairs after a big thing happened in that game. Sat down on my couch. My wife was finishing dinner, and I just sat there silence for 30 minutes looking at the ground. She's like, "Hey, is everything all right? Like, you're just acting weird." I'm like, I don't know. I'm unpacking so many things, like thoughts and also emotions and like fear. Like I was truly afraid of stuff that was existential, like that wasn't even like, oh, it's not like a monster or whatever, but like, oh my god, have I always looked at art wrong? Like it literally just, I don't know, man. Like it's just, it fucked me up in a way that I wish more things would affect me. Like I feel like this is how people felt when they walked out of Avatar 1 in theaters and they had that like Avatar blindness where like now the world doesn't look the same. Well, the difference is I have that now and I love it. Like I man, it should be talked about as a movie, not a video game. And I feel like because it's in the genre of video game, this thing is going to be pushed off to the thing, but it's not like a video game. And I get that it's not like a movie, but it's more of a movie than Bandersnatch is on like Netflix or something. Like it's just, boy, I mean, it's something. And
Immortality.
I need everyone play it and then talk to me about it, please. I need to unpack this with people.
I'll put it in. I'll download it when we're done with this.
It's 2 gigs.
I want to. I want to quick go through TV shows that I really enjoyed this year. And I had to like go on to Vogue's top 2022 shows to see if I agree with that, if that's it, or just to be reminded about certain things that did come out this year. Abbott Elementary, very fun, charming, the Office style mockumentary workplace, but it's at an elementary school. I think they won an Emmy this year.
Yeah.
The last season of Barry, just fucking phenomenal. Bill Hader taking on more of a directing role, and you definitely see, and Bill Hader is a huge film nerd.
And I believe is directing every episode of the next season.
Yeah. And I would love to, which has to be I don't want to give anything away for Barry season 3, but that's probably going to be the last season.
I think they've announced that it is the final season.
Yes. And I hope that he goes on to direct a movie at one point. Like, I'm sure that's something that is on his wish list.
I think if you watch last season of Barry, you maybe know that this guy wants to direct now.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that yeah, oh no, absolutely. That just the fucking final shot of the season that doesn't even have Barry in it is amazing. Okay, so The Bear, that this is one of the new shows that has come out that a lot of people are discovered and talked about. It's about a restaurant in Chicago that the previous owner died. His brother, who was at one point considered the best chef in the world, comes in. It's more about like anxiety and really not compartmentalizing where you're like the importance of where you're at and how you should mitigate your emotions towards that and not get too
it's also the most
that.
Accurate portrayal of a kitchen.
I'm sure.
It's unbelievable. Like, yep, that is what that is like. It is stressful and terrible.
I have a chef friend who I bugged to watch Pig for so long that I want to get his opinion on it, and also The Menu. The Menu, like I said, is a goofy movie, but it kind of has the same feel. It kind of like gets into the same culinary stuff, but in a different way. And I'm just gonna say, the last episode of Better Call Saul was fucking perfect. It's
for a show that was mostly perfect.
That was mostly fucking perfect.
I truly believe Better Call Saul is maybe my favorite show of all time. This last season did not disappoint.
No, and they wrapped it up. I think that's something that Vince Gilligan is great at, is doing a good job of wrapping up his television shows, because Breaking Bad had a great series finale, but this one,
here's what I'll say the difference between the ending of Better Call Saul and the ending of Breaking Bad is. The ending of Breaking Bad, those last 4 episodes are all phenomenal, but of those last 4 episodes, I think the final episode is actually the weakest of all of them. Because you've got Ozymandias in there. I think there's a Ryan Johnson episode in there. Like,
follow up Ozymandias with which was like, oh, that was gonna be an uphill battle because you just made one of your best episodes of all time. But this one,
Saul, the difference is, I think, even though the final episode of Saul is again a deflation from the escalation of the conflict, it nails that landing better than the last Breaking Bad episode does, in a way that truly left me happy the show is over. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, that was the finale. Yeah. That felt really good. I don't need more now. Thank you.
It shows, first off, Bob Odenkirk's amazing range. But it shows like Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, or like Saul Goodman turning back into Jimmy McGill, into the potentially good person that he could have been.
And let us never forget, using 6 seasons and not one goddamn Emmy for Rhea Seehorn. And it is going to be like the biggest crime committed in my lifetime.
And like, I think the episode before the series finale, and also like the fact that the last half of the season heavily featured Carol Burnett, is amazing. Oh god, I forget his name, but the Carol Burnett's son in that is an actor I really, really enjoy, and I
can't remember either, because that actor got switched between seasons, so I always get confused on which one is which.
Right. But he's in a great movie called Cheap Thrills.
And Michael Mando, let's not forget Nacho. I think, again, he also didn't win any awards, and he was unbelievable for 4 or 6 seasons of that. There was no Tony Dalton was unbunbelievable in it. Obviously, Giancarlo Esposito. Yes. Let's not forget 3 seasons of Michael McKean.
And of course, Jonathan Banks. I think and it gives a deeper context to all those characters. Jonathan, uh, uh, um, um, Mike and Giancarlo Esposito. That last scene that he's in, where you see like, oh, he really wants to connect with this person. You can see like, oh, this is a person that he could have a serious relationship with, but especially with the experience he just had, he knows like, oh, I can't get close to people. I just really, the last person I was really close with got shot in Mexico. So yeah, and Jonathan Banks realizing I'm a gangster now. I am in that world. I am not outside of it. I'm not just a contractor. I am I am part of these criminal organizations.
And maybe the biggest unsung hero of them all, Patrick Fabian as Howard Hamlin.
Yes.
Honestly,
his
arc from season 1 to the final season is truly amazing. Like he
was never a bad guy. That's the thing, is like,
he's complicated.
Yeah, that's why that makes that last season so
upsetting.
and what happens to him so heartbreaking at the end. But yeah,
truly
the last episode. Yeah, the last episode I think is, from what I've seen, the best singular episode of television, in my opinion. I think it showcases what makes Saul such a good lawyer, but what makes Jimmy such a good person. And that, just the last shot, is that I did get teared up during that. And just the last half of the season almost totally being black and white, that just looked fantastic. Okay, and I know you loved Severance, which I haven't seen.
Yep.
Which I'll, like, as we were talking, I put a Tar and Marcel the Shell on my Vudu account, so I'm like, all right, I got a lot to go through, so I'll try to get into Severance soon. But yeah,
Severance is the kind of thing I honestly binge it. Like, try to do it in like 2 or 3 sittings. It's 10-hour long episodes. It's not the hardest thing to get through.
Yeah.
Just do a couple episodes a night or whatever.
Right.
Adam Scott is very good in it, but I will say Zach Cherry.
He's good in Torque, which Torque is a terrible movie. So.
Zach Cherry he's my standout on it. And then, oh no, why am I forgetting his name? John Turturro. Like, you've got those two guys kind of doing a lot of heavy lifting, and then obviously Christopher Walken in it. It's just one of those, like, oh, Christopher Walken, I know he's going to be in the show. It's going to be great and it'll be fine. And you kind of think you know what he's going to do. And then Christopher Walken brings in a thing he's never brought into a movie before. Like, oh, he's capable of this too then, huh? Man, Christopher Walken's such a good fucking actor.
I have a list, and I wasn't going to mention it because there's so much on it, of movies that I saw for the first time this year. And I forgot King of New York, which he is wonderful in.
That's maybe my favorite Christopher Walken movie. Yeah, that movie rules.
It is one of his greatest performances. It truly is.
So good.
I'll have to see Deer Hunter again, but King of New York is just phenomenal. Like, it's the other side of the 80s New York crime movie. Other side of Scorsese. This is more, feels deeper into the gutter, which is what Abel Ferrara kind of does. Anyway, so yeah, that's so let's go on to finish this off, because I think we're running long. Let's talk about stuff that we're excited about and also for TV shows. I do want to shout out their next week is the season finale. Doom Patrol, still really good.
I'm getting caught up. Like this. I forgot that this season happened until like a week ago. So now I am trying to binge it to get caught up for the finale.
Yeah, it's almost as if HBO Max is not
Yeah,
great in
it's
their.
almost like they didn't want anyone to know this existed or something.
Yeah.
Even though
Um,
I'm a fan of the show and have watched every previous season, and if you can't tell, am incredibly plugged into what's going on in the superhero world.
right.
Somehow, I a show I had been excited for the new season for was released 7 episodes before I even knew it was on a streaming platform. Discovery Plus, you can fuck off.
But yeah, I think this is the best season since the first. And I'm interested to see what they, fingers crossed, do with the next season.
Oh, we all know that none of this is going to survive this merger.
Oh god, yeah. Okay, anyway, going to things that are coming up. I am, have this, Google list right here and just kind of looking at certain things. Um,
My list is one
talks
movie.
what?
My list is only one movie, so when you get to it, I'll chime in.
Well, I mean, Toxic Avenger. That's what I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. We talked about this on the Toxic Avenger episode. I am excited to see what exactly they're going to do with this movie and with this how they're going to change it. Are they going to be as gross as if James Gunn in the early mid 2000s in his Slither super phase, what I'm hoping that it has that feel.
And I hope
um
I have a lot of confidence and excitement for Peter Dinklage in
yes,
that movie.
yes,
I'm a big
never
Dinklage
get bet
fan.
against Peter Dinklage.
Nope, and I think he'll bring something very fun to that role.
Right.
Or dark. I have no idea what they're fucking doing with that movie.
um Peter Pan and Wendy, I want to get your opinion on this. My personal opinion is we don't need any more fucking Peter Pan movies.
Yeah, I thought that way about
Same with
Pinocchio until Guillermo del Toro decided to make Pinocchio.
okay, you're right about that. And David Lowery is a very good director, a great director. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like mainly the public domain stuff. Sherlock Holmes, King Arthur. Just the ones that they grind into the ground. Into the ground so much because it's free IP basically.
What I'll say, and maybe this is good or bad, there hasn't been a good Peter Pan anything since the Disney movie.
I'll agree with that. I can't think of another good Peter
And I'm
Pan.
not even saying great. There's not been anything good. Like,
yeah,
it's all been bad. So
yeah, and
David Lowery
how do you adapt that in
and
a
not
way
make it creepy as fuck?
Yeah, and Disney did that in the 60s.
It's
The
a
only
whole
way you could have done it.
fucking story about human trafficking. So I just don't know how. I just
Yes,
don't know
exactly.
unless you address that it's about human trafficking. I'm being maybe a little too mean on Hook. I am of the age where
Hook.
I have a lot of strong feelings about Hook. I like
Right.
it, and I know it's bad. I
Another
know it's a
Spielberg movie
trash.
about another Spielberg movie
about a
about
shitty
a
dad.
strained relationship with a dad.
I know that movie is bad. Like, I know it's like going back and looking at it critically now as an adult. It is almost an unforgivable movie. I love every second of it, and I can't get past it.
No, I like it. I think it's genuinely a good movie.
Maybe Dustin Hoffman's best performance.
Maybe, yeah. Here's one that I just learned about that I am stoked on. And it's John Woo, fucking John Woo, doing another American action movie called Silent Night. It's supposed to be like mostly dialogueless. I don't know. Like, and if that's the case, the action is going to be fucking incredible. I don't know anything else about this movie, but you just say John Woo doing like what he does. John Woo doing another Hard Boiled, doing another fucking The Killers. One of my first watches of this year was Broken Arrow, and I fucking love that movie.
Broken Arrow's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a dumb action movie. It's a really good dumb action movie.
It's great. Oh, you're just crazy. I know. Ain't it cool? Travolta's amazing in that movie. But just going through again,
There's Cocaine Bear.
That looks fun. That does look fun. So I am looking forward to that.
There's oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say David Fincher's new movie, The Killer. An assassin begins to psychologically craft as he develops a conscience, even as his clients continue to demand his skills. Sounds like your kind of basic a post Tarantino assassin movie, but it's David Fincher, so it should be more interesting than any of those.
I'm excited for 65. The movie where Adam Driver plays a futuristic space marine who gets sent back to dinosaur times and has to fight them with guns. Very excited for Adam Driver shooting dinosaurs with guns. I'll say it.
Sounds amazing.
You don't need to give me any more than that. Have you watched the trailer for 65?
I know I have.
You should watch the trailer
because I thought it looked. I thought it looked like a generic, action movie of this time.
It is.
What was that?
And
Chris
it knows
Pratt one that came out.
The Tomorrow War or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're right. It does have that energy, but it's Adam Driver. So because the trailer doesn't shy away from it. Like it very much is like Adam Driver's they sent him, the trailer literally has the kind of voice over of just they sent him to do a mission. He had one goal, get back alive.
There's a voiceover in a
No,
trailer?
it's all done in dialogue, but it
much.
feels like it should have a voice. Because when the dialogue, the words are coming up on the screen, I read it in 90s movie voice. But they sent him 65 million years in the past. And then he gets attacked by a dinosaur. I'm like, oh, this movie just sold me. Done. It was perfect. It's him versus dinosaurs.
I'll have to watch the trailer. Havoc, which is going to be Gareth Evans' new movie, who he did Godzilla,
yes,
King of Monsters. Yes,
he did.
Did he? I think I'm thinking of somebody else because I'm looking at his filmography. But he's mostly known for the Raid movies. Those are his, I mean, the Raid, and I've said this before, arguably the best. My personal opinion, the best action movie of the 2010s is Fury Road. But if somebody's going to usurp that, it's going to be The Raid. And this is a movie speaking of Fury Road, he's doing with Tom Hardy, who's somebody I feel like hasn't really been doing much lately because of some behaviors on. Basically, he became a diva after a while.
Well, he had that kind of. We've got our Venom movies, and then he is on a TV show. He does have Peaky Blinders. He's
is
a big
he still
part.
On that? Is that?
I don't know if
going?
he's still on there, but it was still on. It is still. I think they just had the last season this year, so he was still dude's still working.
Yeah,
there's a Scream movie coming out this year. I'm curious what your take is on that.
I'm gonna say also Havoc has Forrest Whitaker, Timothy Olyphant, and Luis Guzman. So that's great. For the new Scream movie, I've never been a huge fan of Scream.
No, fair.
And I think I think the same way with you and the meta stuff. I think it's even more so with horror for me. So by the time I got around to Scream, I had been I think it does come from the fact that there's been so many meta horror movies that it just seems okay. I'll have to see Scream 2 at some point. I hear that one's actually very good. But yeah, I've never been a huge Scream fan, so
you should get up to Scream 4, which is the one where they're making a movie called Stab, and it all takes place. Yeah, is that 3? No, I don't. It's not the second one. I know that's not the second one because Parker Posey
is 3. It's 3 is that one. It's the one with Carrie Fisher in it. And I think Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes have a cameo in that movie.
That movie has a lot of cameos in it.
Yeah, I don't know if they were shooting that concurrently with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back because Wes Craven has the. Anyway, I also think are those both Touchstone movies? I feel like it was the same studio. Dimension.
Doing both of them. Dimension. That's it.
Yeah, and something happened with Miramax. Something involving somebody who was involved with Miramax and Dimension. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the Barbie movie will at least be interesting. It's
That's
Greta
the
Gerwig,
one.
of course.
Only movie
Um,
that matters in 2023 is Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie.
and yeah, and like I said, I'm more interested in it than I'm sure it's going to be great. It's Greta Gerwig. Her batting, her record at this point
2 for 2.
is 2 for 2. You're going to hate this. I still haven't seen Little Women. I'll have to rectify that soon. But yeah, I like it's at least going to be interesting, which I think is great.
Have you done Frances Ha?
I have not done that either.
So is Lady Bird the only one of hers you've seen?
Yes. I've always
Okay.
well, Frances Ha is was it Noah Baumbach?
It's Noah Baumbach, but she's
But
all
she
over
wrote
that.
did she write co-write it? I feel like
yeah, I believe. They're married. They might as well both have made that movie.
Okay. I didn't realize. I thought they just worked a lot together. Okay.
No,
Anyway,
they're partners. So
yeah. John Wick Chapter 4. I think it's supposed to be the last one, and I mean, it looks like the big show off is going to be between Keanu Reeves and Donnie fucking Yen. So yeah, I'm pumped for that one. So far the John Wick movies have been great. They just have. They understand what these movies are and how, and just like, the Fast and the Furious before 8, they know how to correctly ramp up the action.
and see, this is where I maybe disagree. That has been a declining slope for me on those movies.
John Wick.
I love the first one. I think the second one is fine. I kind of am medium on the third one. I'm not particularly enthused for the fourth.
I like the third one better than the second one. But
they're all good. I like watching them. They're all fun movies. So this is less of a complaint. Like they go from like a 9 to a 7, not like a 9 to a 2. Like it's a small slide down.
Yeah. They're all entertaining, and Keanu Reeves is great. Whenever the cast they get is just like, okay, this is what the Expendables should have been.
Well, we've got the ballerina spinoff coming.
Really?
Ana de Armas.
They have been talking a lot. They've talked through the years of expanding this. I know they wanted to make a TV show,
which they are.
Hotel.
Yep,
they are making it.
Yep.
Okay, and I didn't
Lance
know
Reddick just got confirmed to be on the show. Which how would you make it without him? But yeah. Like absolutely. Yes. Also, Ana de Armas is doing the ballerina spinoff of it as well.
Oh, fucking great!
And Angelica Houston's confirmed for that.
Oh, wonderful! And what was I just thinking? Oh yeah, I think they keep saying they want to bring in Nobody, the Bob Odenkirk movie, into the universe, which I think is a little bit overkill at that point.
You can just bring in Bob Odenkirk as a different character. Just bring in Bob Odenkirk if you want.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think Nobody should have a sequel, because the whole point of Nobody is that he is not involved in the CIA anymore. And at the end of the movie, it looks like he's going to get back involved in the CIA. So it's just like, yeah, cut it off there. And it's perfect for what it is. There's a horror movie I've seen trailers for called Infinity Pool that I'm interested in. I think that looks interesting. It's from I want to say it's David Cronenberg's son. Yeah, Brandon Cronenberg, who I need to watch his other movies. I forget what it's called, but there's one that is basically about somebody who can go into your mind and kill you there. Possessor, I hear, is very good. That's the movie. Other than that, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that might be the only Marvel movie I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I do want to shout out that one specifically. Obviously, the James Gunn of it all, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is my favorite Marvel movie. MCU movie, I should rephrase that. My favorite MCU movie. In fact, the Guardians 2 movies, I kind of think are almost perfect movies. Like I truly find those movies unbelievably good and entertaining. So I'm very excited for the third one. And I also love that it's going to be mostly about Rocket. So
that and it'll be interesting, a post Guardians of the Galaxy movie that interconnected with the other MCU. Hopefully it doesn't lose like the what it is. But also we're supposed okay. Oh, that says 2024. I was gonna say Furiosa, but that's not coming out for a little bit longer.
Well, we still have Oppenheimer. I can't forget a Christopher Nolan movie. Oh, I have Dungeons and Dragons, which I think looks great.
I think
Honor Among Thieves.
Look, I love Chris Pine. I'm just gonna
say
I love Chris
do
Pine.
Unabashedly, but I also like John Francis Daley as a writer. And
but Game Night.
Yeah,
it's
the same writing team.
Underrated comedy.
It's the same writing team who's writing the Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's why I'm like, this will be fun. It'll just be a fun romp, like with magic and shit, by people who fucking play D&D and know what the hell they're talking about.
Are you trying to tell me the Jeremy Irons movie wasn't very good?
I don't think any of those people have even read D&D book, let alone played it.
Okay, so there's a new Evil Dead movie coming out, which ought to be
something. That trailer didn't do anything for me.
I see. I haven't even seen the trailer.
It just came out this week. It bummed me, made me lose a little interest in the movie.
Okay. Well, I'll have to watch it. The new speaking of Chris Pine, Star Trek movie is supposed to come out this year. As a huge Star Trek fan, and as somebody who liked the first Star Trek reboot and beyond, I'm more interested to see what they do. I'm not sure about the filmmaking team on this. I would have liked Justin Lin to come back.
Again, driven off the set by Vin Diesel. So
yeah, and like this is maybe I'll have a different opinion when I see the trailer. I'm just like the new Fast and the Furious. I'm not as excited as I feel like I was a couple of years ago when a new Fast and the Furious would come out. Can
I say one you wouldn't have expected me to say? Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
I think. Well, here's the thing. After Bumblebee,
yeah. Have you seen the trailer for Rise of the Beasts yet?
I did. It looks interesting.
The Transformers look like fucking Transformers. Just like
they did in Bumblebee too.
Yeah, just like in Bumblebee, when you're like, oh, if you make the Transformers look like the toys I had as a kid, I immediately care more about your movie. And then sure enough, in this next one, they show me the Transformers and now they look like the cartoons. And I'm like, well, yeah, guys, you're nailing it. Specifically, I'm a Beast Wars kid. That's the Transformers I grew up on. So this is also hitting me in the nostalgia button of just like, I love my Transformers as monkeys.
Now, here's the thing. Your nostalgia button is Transformers. Mine is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which very little has come out about this movie.
So little.
So I'm just basically being, I don't know about cautious, but look, it's a Turtles thing. I'm at least going to follow about what it's going to be.
Is this the Seth Rogen one?
I think so. I don't know who's supposed to be
I don't know if he was doing. Well, Seth Rogen was he was writing and producing one, and I don't know if that was because there's also a TV show in development. I don't know which one he was doing.
There's always going to be a Ninja Turtles. Like they just got off another. Like it went from the 2012 TV show to the one that came out recently, and then they're going to do it just seems like they're going to do new versions of this, which is okay. Yeah, it's produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. So one that's going to come out pretty soon, Knock at the Cabin Door. I'm interested in. M. Night Shyamalan seems to be like, I think we're appreciating his craziness more these days.
Old was a good time. His last couple movies, I think, have been fun. He had that what was that weird one he did where like you visit your grandparents and they're like murderers or something?
Right. Yeah. I don't remember what that one was called, but I know.
And then he like produced Devil, the movie about the elevator. Yeah. I like M. Night Shyamalan almost all of his movies. Like I don't think there's that many misses. It's just the ones that miss. The Happening is the miss.
The last Unbreakable, was it Glass?
I like Glass. I like Glass
Bruce
quite
Willis
a bit.
Gets murdered in a puddle.
Yeah. I loved it. It's
All
his
right.
one weakness. So that's all it took. I really like Glass. I think it was a lot of fun.
Apparently they're making a new Equalizer. I hope that they in this one, because I like the first one. I haven't seen the second one, but nobody seems to be on Denzel Washington's level in those movies, which is like, if you're going to do anything, get somebody who's actually a threat to Denzel Washington in these movies.
Yeah,
like,
he's not really equalizing everything. He kind of tilts
Yeah.
that scale all on his side.
And let me see. And it is going to be again directed by Antoine Fuqua. So
No.
he's done a great job with these movies. He's a director who is hit and miss, but with the Equalizer movie, he does a great job in the action department. The new Shazam movie is coming out, I think, fairly soon. I think March.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've also got, I mean, even in the DC stuff, I've also got an Aquaman movie. And if I'm being honest, fucking love that first Aquaman movie. So I'm pretty excited for the sequel.
Is it James Wan again?
It is. So
Okay,
I'm
so
like, yeah,
I'm in.
Look, the first Aquaman movie is not some masterpiece. It is a fun action movie that I just had a good time watching. I got nothing but hopes for the second one that it'll be a fun fucking action movie.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's this year or next year that the new Scorsese is coming out. But for me, I'm in. It's probably, the thing is, it's one of those things where he is getting up there in age. So most of his movies seem like you're going to be the last movie. Speaking of another auteur, Wes Anderson's has a new movie coming out pretty soon. This next year, Asteroid City. Then if you look at the cast, it's fucking amazing. Let's see. Just kind of going through these lists of just like just seeing what are you excited for Trolls 3?
I'm excited for Dune Part 2.
I need to see the first one.
Did you know David Gordon Green's remaking The Exorcist this year? I mean, we've got that.
We might. I'm underwhelmed by his Halloween, and I don't think that you need to remake The Exorcist. That's my whole thing.
I think The Exorcist is a story that could be retold every 20 years. I do think that's like the whole the story of a woman's daughter getting possessed. Leslie Odom Jr.'s in it, who I just love. So like, it's got the right kind of cast where. And I like David Gordon Green enough. I liked the first Halloween remake he did a lot. And I'm less strong about the other two, but that first one really did a lot for me. So I'm excited for his take on The Exorcist, but if he should remake Exorcist 2 and 3, I'll be less excited.
You want to hear one that, do you want to hear one? And by the way, Exorcist 3 is actually a good movie, so shut your fucking mouth. One that might surprise you. I'm looking forward to The Meg 2, solely because they got director Ben Wheatley, who is known for these very small scale, mostly violent movies. Kill List, High Rise. If you haven't seen Free Fire, watch Free Fire. You have to get past the whole Army Hammer of it all. But
I love Free Fire.
Oh, Free Fire is a very just excellently planned out
bottle episode.
Because
it's an hour and 45 minutes in one spot.
Yeah, and you have to coordinate all these different people. There's probably like 10 different people in this warehouse, and there's people choosing different sides, and have to get to somewhere, and it's really good. And that's why I'm like, and I haven't seen The Meg, but I am like a huge Statham fan. I'm Jason Statham.
One of the best things about Free Fire, for people who haven't seen it, and this is my pitch to sell it to anybody, is we've kind of mentioned it all takes place essentially in one warehouse. The whole movie takes place in one thing. Within 10 minutes of the start of the movie, almost every single character has been shot once.
Yes.
Almost everyone has a gunshot wound within 10 minutes of the movie. And it doesn't just like let that pass by. You now spend 10 minutes watching people who are wounded Like, then there's another hour and a half of that movie, and it all functionally takes place in real time. Like, it takes place over the hour and a half you're watching this one thing. The Charlotte Copley is so good in that. Brie Larson is great. I love Free Fire is just one of those movies I wish more people will watch. It's a good time. It's not perfect. It's just so
a great
fun.
Action movie. I am interested to see what they're doing with Blue Beetle.
I love the character, specifically the Hunter Reyes version of Blue Beetle that they're doing. They're not doing
looks
the
like
Ted
that's
Kord
what they're
one.
doing.
Yep. I am excited for that because I love that character. I also have to sit through a Flash movie this year, which really pisses me off. So angry about that.
I am so happy that I'm not attached to the Flash as you are.
I'm so grateful you don't have an emotional attention to a character DC wants to ruin for you. But it really hurts my feelings what they're doing with the Flash. It really just it hurts my feelings that they're letting Ezra Miller even continue to do this. Yeah. And other weird superhero stuff. The Aaron Taylor Johnson Kraven the Hunter movie is coming out from Sony this year.
That's Sony who have been trying their best to cash in on the Spider-Man characters that they own. Look what happened to Morbius.
It's tough because Spider-Man has the best rogues gallery in the entire Marvel community, and they chose Morbius.
Yeah.
Why would you choose him?
And I feel like you could make you could make more of a movie out of Kraven the Hunter than
100%.
Than I think without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
More than Venom or Morbius. First off, Venom is so connected, like almost literally connected to Spider-Man.
Could not disagree with you more on that. But Venom is very much his own thing. Current, like in the comic books for the last 15 years. Yes. Well, for 15 years now, he's been Agent Venom. He's the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He has moved so far beyond Spider-Man now. I get it. You just can't introduce Venom without Spider-Man. That is crazy. You're right about that. Yeah. That is an insane thing to do.
I'm going to say this. Maybe the Super Mario Brothers movie isn't going to be bad?
No.
You don't think it's going to be good?
The music sucks. The acting sucks. Everything about the trailer sucks unless you watch it in French. But man, that French voice acting is so good.
No, okay. So here's the thing. Yes, Chris Pratt is bad in it.
I thought Keegan-Michael Key was also bad in it.
I think he's doing. I mean, it's Toad. What are you going to do with fucking Toad?
Hey, I love Toad Treasure Hunter, so don't talk shit about Toad to me.
No, but Toad's voice is supposed to be an annoying.
Well, this is a movie, and there's a reason Toad doesn't talk. If you're going to make him talk, you got to give me something.
Now Jack Black, you got to admit, is doing a good Bowser.
He'll be great. I am so over.
And Seth Rogen is kind of the perfect voice. I feel like for
and Donkey Kong's getting the first spinoff. So Donkey Kong will be out in 2 years. So
here's the thing: Donkey Kong Country was my fucking favorite video game when I was a kid. Man, that was amazing.
As somebody who doesn't like the Minions stuff and the Illumination style, I am very unexcited for Super Mario Brothers, even though I am a giant video game nerd. Not even my most excited video game movie of the year.
Right. I'm, and here's the thing: I'm not terribly excited for it. I'm just saying, like, there is a small chance that it might not be dog shit, but it's Illumination, so you're right. It's probably apparently they're coming out with a movie about Bob Ross. Yep. Starring Owen Wilson as Bob Ross.
There's also, a Mission Impossible movie coming out this year that should be pretty exciting.
Yes. I need to watch those movies. That's another thing. It's like, fuck.
That's one of those ones I'm bummed we don't live close to each other, where I can't just be like, come over, let's get weird and like watch these movies, because from 3 on, they're all amazing.
Right. And it really was a thing where the first movie was directed by Brian De Palma and everyone was just like, that's pretty good. The second one was, again, my man, John Woo, and that's not a very good movie. It's fun,
but
it's John Woo way.
And it is John Woo as shit. It's not a great Tom Cruise movie, but it is a pretty okay John Woo movie.
Yes. American movie. If it we're comparing to his Hong Kong stuff, almost everything he's done in America is dog shit compared to what his Hong Kong stuff. But yeah, that's
Well, then
all that I'm.
yeah, you because after you got to forget though after fuck John Woo, it is what's his nuts who did Mission Impossible 3. Why am I forgetting his name? J.J. Abrams. And so one of the things I love about the franchise, specifically early on, is Mission Impossible 1 is a De Palma movie that like is so comically a De Palma movie. Like there are just De Palma shots in it where you're like, is he making fun of his other shots? And you're like,
Yeah,
oh
see,
no.
that was what he was doing in that. If you look at Snake Eyes, it begins with that fucking split screen.
Yeah, like there's so much of that in Mission Impossible 1, and I love it. And in 2, there's so many shots that are just John Woo doing John Woo's thing. That like as long as you can laugh those off of like, the fuck are you doing, John Woo? There don't need to be pigeons here. Like you can laugh that off and have a good time. And the same goes for the third one with J.J. Abrams. You're like, dude, why are there so many lens flares? You know what? I don't care. I'm having a blast. I really like Mission Impossible 3. But then the fourth one is Brad Bird, who is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. And then you start the Macquarie run, and it's just unbelievable. What a great franchise. What an unbelievably good franchise that's had to reinvent itself 3 separate times now and is always fun. Man, Tom Cruise is good. What a good actor.
Anyway, is there any other movies that you could think of that you're excited for?
Let's see. Greta Gerwig's making the Barbie movie.
Huh?
Greta Gerwig's making the Barbie movie. So I guess the only other movie I can think of would be the Barbie movie. No, that is literally the movie. If I only could see one movie in theaters next year, it would be Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie.
And from the little bit that they've shown of it, it looks spectacular.
I love that trailer told us not a fucking thing about what that movie's going to be about.
Because what could it possibly be about? It's about
I think
Barbie.
I know because I've read a lot, and I don't want to talk about it. But I will say I'm very excited for that movie, even if it fails utterly. I am excited for that movie.
I would be interested because Greta Gerwig, who you said married to Noah Baumbach, has her movies, her directorial movies have been mostly little dramas, an adaptation of a famous novel. And now we're
really good like an unbelievably good adaptation and modernization of it.
Yes. And this you have and this is IP. This is in that IP thing, but it's also one of the most famous, not just toys, but things
in the world.
American culture.
Yeah. In
the world of American culture. So it'll be interesting to see what she does with the it's just going to be interesting to see what she does with it. Yeah, it like you said, here's the thing, even if it's hot garbage, which I'm not saying it's going to be, even if it is, it's going to be interesting hot garbage.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Indiana Jones 5 too. There's very little about it that I care about anymore. Just because my Indiana Jones movies are a trilogy, and then there's the whatever else is happening now.
Yes.
But this new one has Antonio Banderas and Mads Mikkelsen in it. I like whenever they show up in things. So
and Fleabag's in it.
Yeah. So. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Like, they're all good people. I don't know if this movie will be good, but man, if Mads Mikkelsen's playing a Nazi in it, I'm gonna be pretty excited. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, the role he was born to play, Nazi.
I also believe it's a movie about Nazis on the moon. So like, I'm pretty excited for Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah, and Sam Mendes, he's a hit or miss director, but no, it's James. Why did I think
it's James Mangold? Yeah,
it's Mangold who, James Mangold has made some great movies, made some great action movies. Logan, there's also Ford versus Ferrari. He's a good director. He did Cash. That's the one that kind of really put him on the map. But yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, this might be really good. And I think to have Spielberg and Lucas step away from this one as the creative team is, because if this is going to be the last one, it's a legacy sequel. It's basically, hey, this is one of the most famous, well revered characters of all time, and this is most likely going to be a send off, a swan song.
And you'll appreciate this. It's written by the guy who wrote Edge of Tomorrow.
And Edge of Tomorrow is a very good movie with
best video game movie ever made.
With like 3 fucking titles. It's Edge of Tomorrow, or as the DVD release had on it, was it
Live, Die, Repeat?
Live, Die, Repeat?
Which I think is a better title.
No, it is. And then you have the book title, which is kind of ridiculous. So is All You Need Is Kill,
which is also a great title.
Yes, it is.
Edge of Tomorrow is the one title that sucks so much because it's nothing. But Live, Die, Repeat literally tells you everything you need to know about what this movie is.
Probably Doug Liman's best movie.
It's a great movie. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yep.
It might come up on our movies for next year.
Wait, what?
It could be a good one to add to one of our months for next year for the movies.
Live, Die,
I'll tell you, we'll have to. There'll be a month that could fit in.
Well, and speaking of which, let's talk about to wrap it all up. Let's talk about what we're doing next for this year.
All right, so this year we're going to try a different style, and I think I kind of pitched this idea, and I think it brings us closer to what the title of the podcast is. Frankly, so what we've done is we've made a list, and we've made every month a theme. And so the format's going to be, we're each going to pick out a movie for that theme for the month. We'll each do an episode on that movie. And then we'll do like a bonus episode at the end of the month, kind of getting caught up on maybe news, trailers, current events. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do for next month. So we'll each be able to bring movies we love based off of the theme. So we will get to share movies we love with one another, which has got me pretty excited. And because I am a soon-to-be daddy.
Don't say it like that.
Nope, it's always going to be that. I was making some cinnamon sugar toast this morning, and my hands got a little sticky. You could almost say I was a sugar daddy.
God damn it, motherfucker.
Yep, we'll get used to it because all of our themed months are terrible puns. Just truly
that is
horrendous.
True. Like you share them with me, and they are all just the worst.
So I'll share them with everybody because I do have them here right in front of me. So starting off for this month, we are in January. It's a tough one to say. January.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it works.
When you say it, January, it works. When you look at it written down, it absolutely does not work at all. For February, we're doing Flopuary.
Shouldn't it be wait? Shouldn't it be January?
See, that's how I have it spelt, but January sounds better when you say it.
But it doesn't. It's okay. Anyway, moving on because I am gonna get more and more.
They're only getting worse.
Really think about these terrible puns.
February is of course Flopuary. This is the laziest one. March is Monster March. They did the march. They did the Monster March. The Monster March. The next month, April, is Ape Roll. APERIL.
This one's going to be difficult for me because, okay, so is it just apes or can it be like chimpanzees, gorillas?
Any monkey? Think you will know from the pick I made for the first month how little the rules fucking matter. Okay. I think I know part of the game I'll be playing
is supposed to be an anime movie, and you just do Legends of the Fall. It's just like, wow, you really didn't understand the assignment.
I think part of it can be how can you justify this movie fits in with the theme. I think that is fun in itself. Speaking of fun ones, May is going to be Mae West. We'll see whatever that ends up being. June is, of course, Yoon. Open for interpretation on what that one might mean. There's a couple ways Yoon could go.
I think if it's called Yoon, I think we just choose a movie. I think one of our favorites.
Sure, or a movie
Something
starring
that would be
Stephen
in our
Yoon.
top 10.
Yeah,
but
or other.
It's Minari, Havoc, Nope.
I think you should leave.
I think you should leave. Yep.
Evil Dead, or Walking Dead. I can keep going. There's July's, of course, Ju-Hi, stoner movies. Maybe it's a movie about high rise. Maybe it's something about being tall. I don't know. Open for interpretation. That would work for me. A high school movie could fit in for Ju-Hi. I just want you to know how my brain is working on breaking all of these rules that I have arbitrarily made for us.
I mean, if I wanted, never mind. I was going to make a very tasteless joke. Anyway, go ahead.
August is, of course, Action August. I couldn't think of a pun for that one. We might change that, but it will be action movies if we can figure out a better pun for it.
No, let's just do fucking action movies.
Well, yeah, it will be. I just would like to make a better pun than Action August. That's not a pun. That's just a phrase. September is, of course, Sevtember. Sev means seven. We'll interpret that however we so choose to. Of course, 12 is Spocktoberfest. October will be Spocktoberfest.
And this is what I think I'm going to shine in because I'm the resident Star Trek fan.
And I love Three Men and a Baby, so don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
You're going to choose 3 Men and a Baby.
Again, these rules can all be broken. And technically it fits.
The obvious one is going to be, I think if I'm only going to get one chance to put a Star Trek movie in this show, it's going to be Wrath of Khan.
Well, Zachary Quinto's been in a lot of movies, so I don't know what I'll pick.
Fucking shit.
Again,
at least stick with Leonard Nimoy, man.
Well, no, there's multiple Spocks. November.
No. There is a few actors who have played Spock that have done really well. There is only one fucking Spock. Get your shit together.
Well, here's the month I am least excited for, and it just so happens to be my birthday month. November is, of course, Norvember, where we will watch film noir movies. So that'll be a real treat.
I think you mean Noir-vember.
Yeah, sure.
You're saying all this like very, but yes, that's also going to be one that I shine. I've told you, like, I'm a huge film noir fan, and I think I'm just going to have to just really dig deep into, like, you know, it's great that on the Criterion Channel, film noir is its own category.
Yeah, I'll be very excited to break the rules on that month. And then December will come along, and that's where I will get to shine for Dancember.
Right. Yeah, that's one that I'm like, oh, I have to rack my brain on that.
Yes, but also rules are meant to be broken, so we will see. But I think now would be a good time to announce what movies we will be bringing to January.
Okay, yes. And I'll go first since yours is the rule breaker. I have two. One I really need to see, and one that is a classic. And you know what? I think, like, I am going to try to do like I'm going to bring the quintessential ones to this. So Akira, we got to do Akira.
I will, of course, rewatch Akira. I'll watch that a million times. It's a perfect movie.
And I think, I think I would like to have my friend Curtis Parrish, who is a huge fan of Akira, on for that episode.
I don't know if he remembers me, but I know Curtis, or at least
okay.
I have been around. I believe I know Curtis.
Right. Yeah.
Let me pull up not my list, but your list, because I do want to mark Akira, because I do have a log, because Tanner's learning to take notes. Well, I had a few movies picked out for the first several months of this already. But there's a movie I've been wanting to discuss desperately, so I'm going to force you to watch it. And I might have to do some tricky work. We might actually have to watch it together online because it's not the easiest movie to find in the world. I feel like we give Japanese too much credit for making good animation stuff. So I want to bring animation from another country into discussion. So we're going to watch The World of Tomorrow, the Don Hertzfeldt 3-parters. World of Tomorrow,
You've
part
been
1,
telling me
part
about
2,
that. That's one I've
part
been
3.
needing to watch.
You may know Don Hertzfeldt as the guy who made the My Spoon Is Too Big YouTube videos from way back in the early internet days. He also made the Pop-Tart animated series of commercials.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he made a series of 3 sci-fi short films that I happen to have bought on Blu-ray that I absolutely adore, and they're really cool. So we're gonna do.
You send me a link, and I might buy that Blu-ray too.
I bought it straight from his website. I will send it to you. If not, you and I can watch it together on Discord through my stuff. So
okay,
I can make
sounds
it happen
good.
too.
And I already got because February is Flop-uary. I got mine picked out, and it's gonna be a rad one.
I've got a few listed, but it's gonna depend on what I end up going for April, because some movies might get swapped around there. We'll see. But yeah, every month we'll have it. So the plan is, which one do you want to do? Akira first?
Let's do Akira first, because like you said, that's probably going to be the one that is going to be the
easiest for people to get to, 100%. And The World of Tomorrow, the part 1 is free on YouTube currently. You can watch part 1 on YouTube. Part 2 and 3, which I think is where it gets real good, specifically that third one. Those you can just buy on demand, video on demand from Don Hertzfeldt's website. You can buy a physical piece of the media if that's still available, but I know you can just buy a digital copy of it from him for like $10. And it's 3 movies. It's pretty phenomenal. So then we'll do World of Tomorrow next, and then at the end of the month we'll do like a catch up episode, and then we'll announce what we're doing for Flop-uary at the end of the month.
All right, sounds good. Anyway, thank you all for listening to our year-end review of 2002.
Yeah, we end it with 2022, and now that we're going into 2023, enjoy this 3-hour episode.
For I Love This Flick, I'm Josh Pfizer.
I'm Tanner Randall.
Keep watching movies, people.
Bye.